How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning, good morning. Good morning, boys and girls. How we all doing? Are we well? It's reset day. This is the one day of the week at the moment where it feels like we might actually be able to make some reasonable gold. I feel kind of bad about saying this, but I've almost switched off my goal making operation outside of Wednesdays, simply for the fact that, well, if I'm honest, I need to trim down the amount of things I'm posting. I think that's my biggest problem. I'm posting nearly close to 500 auctions on each realm that I play, which is just too many. Just too many. I need to need to trim the fat a little bit. But it doesn't matter because we're not spending a huge amount of gold, and so any sales we make passively through the week is just a bonus. But today is the day where we have the opportunity, at least, hopefully, keep our fingers, our toes, our all extremities crossed, that we have the ability to make a bit of gold. And I'm really hoping that we get a PTR at some point relatively soon. Now, in past history, we tend to get the PTR turn up sort of Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, somewhere around there. It doesn't usually come at the exact same time as the game resets. Don't know why. It's just how Blizzard do it. But as soon as we get information that we have a PTR, we'll hop on there. If it happens today, we'll do it today. If it happens tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. Oh, actually, I should probably point out tomorrow I probably won't be streaming. So maybe we won't do it tomorrow. Oh god, this is going to line up really badly, isn't it? I've got an appointment that I do not have the ability to reschedule or miss tomorrow, which is slightly inconveniently smack bang in the middle of when I usually do my live stream. We may do an evening stream tomorrow then. If we can, if we get a PTR, we'll do an evening stream tomorrow. It might not be. We'll still try to stream tomorrow. It just might have to be rescheduled. That's basically what I'm saying. But how are we all doing this morning? Good to see you all. Coffee on the go is very much a necessity first thing this morning. I have been pretty proactive. I've been up and running already a little bit this morning, sold a few things, at least emptied my mailbox and put everything back on the auction house. So nothing really overly exciting, but it has resulted in a few early sales this morning on a couple of our main realms. This is Sylvanas on Torin Mill. We have a few things selling. Rank 6 Shadowgast Breastplate. That's a very odd one to sell. But I won't complain, especially since it's 90,000 gold. Yeah, go on then. I'll take that. And I've even been as productive enough as to jump over on our NA realm and do a repost over there. Now, you may notice my NA realm is pretty low on funds again. I might have accidentally overinvested in materials a little bit. But first thing I wanted to do this morning is show you something that I've been working on for a little while. It's not anything overly interesting. It's just time consuming for me to do it, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Now I think it's complete. The problem is that truly calling it complete is relatively difficult. Just because of the amount of items that are in the game. But I've finally got my ass into gear and made some TSM groups for past expansion materials that I think are at least 99% inclusive of every single material that's ever existed in the game. There's a few little bits and pieces here and there that I'm sure I've missed, but for the most part, we have every single past expansion material. Now, one thing I usually see people do, and I see why people do it. I don't hold anything against them, but the very first thing that people tend to do is break it down by past expansion, which is great until you actually go and use it, and then you realise that, well, actually, I don't care what expansion it came from. What I actually want to do is just search for all of the herbs. And you naturally make it 10 times harder for yourself if you've broken everything down by professions. I scoured the internet and I looked for some resources of others that had tried to do this. And I found a couple of people, and I took influence from a couple of people's groups and setups. But none of them was I really happy with, nor did I didn't want to blindly trust that somebody else had got all of the materials, so I spent a bit of time doing it myself. A combination of going through a lot of professions and working out, well, what is a material I could ever need from that single profession. But that's not to say I haven't broken it down by professions, by expansions, sorry. So if you want to just search for all herbs, you have a category that is herbs, and you've got all of the herbs from past expansions. But especially with herbs, especially if you're hunting down inks, for example, or pigments to make the inks, you might want to be looking for certain herbs from a certain region, and then you can do it. So we've got all of the Wrath ones, all of the Cataclysm ones, all of the Warlords of Draenor ones. They're all subcategorized there. So you can do some individual searches if you want. The reason I wanted to build this is for the purpose of some really entry-level, early days flipping on new servers. It's a really easy way to expand onto multiple servers very quickly. You have a predefined group set up that you make a character, you copy paste, you know, do what you need to do to get 10,000 gold, and then you just keep reinvesting that 10,000 gold and reselling. Keep doing shopping scans, and over time, you just build up a small wealth across multiple different realms, just cherry picking that cheap stuff and then selling it back out. Doesn't require much effort at all, 5 minutes a day, but there's nearly close to 1,000 materials in this now, I think. I'm still sure I've missed a few. Things like food, for example, all of the old meats from all the different expansions, for example, I'm quite sure I've missed some fish or I've missed some meat or something, but it will become apparent when I want to do one more check of this, and I want to go through it in one more detail, comparing and contrasting against every profession. So at the very least, if it's a material that goes into crafting something, it should be in these groups. Like I said, there's probably... I didn't quite know where to draw the line on intermediate crafted items, because obviously, by definition, you can't farm up pigments, you can't farm up inks, but they are still a material, even though they are actually both technically crafted items in their own right. But by definition, icy pigment is a crafting reagent, and it turns into snowfall ink, which is in turn a crafting reagent. The likelihood is that yes, a scribe, for example, is going to probably try to mill their own herbs, try to craft their own inks before making whatever it is that they're trying to make. But yeah, this is one thing I wanted to have available for a while. I might give it to my Patreons to begin with before... Yeah, I might give it to my Patrons to begin with first, just so that it can be sampled by people, and my Patrons are obviously going to be far more inclined of reporting back any potential issues with it. So I might give this out to my Patrons as a bit of a thank you. It took me a while to do, and like I said, I think it's about 99% complete. I'm not entirely sure if I want to slap a load of operations on everything, because I feel people could use it in very different ways. People might use this just as their shopping list for when they do some low-level crafting. Some people might use this for auction house flipping. Some people might use this for sniping. I suppose I could set up a sniper operation for this. Everybody would use it in a similar way for sniping. That's something I could probably do. Just curious, are bolts considered mats? Now see, this is one of the thing, right? I've considered them a material, because in their own right, similar to inks, I think they are. Even though they're technically an intermediate, if you can, I mean, but the game even considers them a crafting reagent. Even though they are crafted, you are then able to sell it back on the auction house as a reagent. TSM, when you do crafting, also considers them reagents, and so given the right price on the auction house, TSM will tell you to buy them rather than tell you to craft them. So I did consider bolts, yes, a material. Cloth is one of the only ones that I didn't break it down by expansion. Almost everything else is broken down by expansion. So elementals from vanilla, we got all the crystallized and eternals from Wrath, motes of harmony, spirits of harmony from Mop, sorceress stuff. That's not all of the sorceress stuff, or is it? Wasn't there six? Isn't there supposed to be 6? No, there was only 4 sorcerer stuff in WoD. That is complete. Legion doesn't have any. BFA doesn't have any. Or if they do, they're mostly Legion's elementals. Like you could consider them like Expulsor, which are soulbound, so it doesn't really matter. Same for BFA. So those groups are empty, but most things are broken down or subcategorized down into, why is there no TBC enchanting stuff? Where's all the enchanting stuff gone? Did I get bored halfway through trying to do enchanting and not finish it? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't finish enchanting. Haha! No, I didn't. I must have got bored halfway through enchanting. See, there we go. There's a good example of that. Doesn't matter how hard you try, you always mess something up. This infuriates me. I'm still salty about this even to this day. Warlords of Draenor for crafters and for gold makers was one of the worst times in history. Crafting in Warlords of Draenor was so bad. So bad. Actually terrible, because absolutely everything was soulbound and absolutely everything was linked to a daily cooldown. It was horrible. Yeah, I must have just got lazy when or maybe just I stopped. See, I didn't do this all in one sitting, obviously, because putting all of these items in all these different groups in one sitting would be borderline illegal. But the reason I've imported it onto my NA account, I didn't make it on my NA account, but the reason I've imported it onto my NA account here is so that I can do some shopping scans against it to do some flipping. So, for example, the headline group, old materials, I've just slapped a shopping operation on it. A past expansion materials operation. This links firstly to a custom price source that I've made. I just thought that it might be easier to... We touched on this a day or two ago on the stream. But I just made a simple... Alright, I say simple, I'll show it you in a minute. A custom price source for old materials. And in regards to how many to restock, I thought that 7 times whatever the region sold per day was a sizable amount to restock. If I end up with more than that, I probably don't want to buy any more. Simply because the purpose of this, for me at least, is for some quick turnaround, easy flips on materials. I'm not looking for long-term investments, nor am I looking to stock and be supplying this material to the auction house forever and a day. If only 10 of them sell a day, I don't want any more than 70 of them. If 100 of them sell a day, I don't really want more than 700 of them. I want a week's worth of stock at best, but I don't really want more than that. Showing auctions above maximum price is helpful for when you actually look to buy them. You can see then the breakdown of the materials. I'll show you this in action in a minute. But the shopping operation's pretty easy. No real complications on this bit, but it's the custom price source that's a little bit more interesting. So it is quite, in its essence, it's quite simple. It looks for 3 different things on every material. It first looks at the DB regional sale rate. I'm not interested in stuff that's, you know, super expensive but is going to take 500 listings for it to sell. It needs to sell at least reasonably. 0.06 on past expansion materials kind of fits in a happy medium. It does exclude some stuff that I probably should at least look at, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Not only does it need to sell reasonably quickly, we're dealing with materials here, so you expect to sell them in quantity. So I'm looking for at least 20 sold per day on average. This cuts out a lot of the old trash. There's the stuff that you might sell 1, 2, 3 of a day on a realm. I'm not interested in. Really not interested in. We're dealing with materials for this. So you've got to sell at least 20. And more importantly, it then checks the DB market price. The DB market price needs to be at least 3 gold for me to really feel that it's worth doing. If the market price on an item is like 2 gold a piece, the probability of being able to buy it cheap enough and then resell it for enough to make it worth the time or effort of buying it is pretty slim. You could up this if you wanted to, but you've got to remember that we're dealing with materials, and so a single material, if you buy a single material for 3 gold and sell it for 6 gold, you've made 3 gold. But of course, if you do that on a stack of 200, it actually, you know, makes it worthwhile. And basically, if it has a sale rate of above 0.06, and if it sells more than 20 a day, and if the market price on the item is greater than 3 gold, then my shopping operation it basically uses 50% DB market. It basically says, right, we will then look at buying anything that's less than sort of half what it could or should currently be. And that's really the criteria that we work with. Anything outside of that is excluded. We're not interested in it. Doesn't matter about the price. I don't care if it's stupid cheap. I'm just not interested in it, because everything that gets excluded from this, you could probably get it pretty cheap, but you're going to sit on it for a long time. You're not going to sell many of them, or they're just way too cheap to be dealing with. So that's kind of my minimums. This is something that you could very easily switch about if you wanted to, but that's like entirely up to you. One thing that I did find out that's quite interesting for the purpose of custom price sources is you can just spam the spacebar. This seems really silly, right? But it makes actually building your operations in-game a little bit more easy to manage. You just put things on different lines. As long as you know the syntax of how the operations are made, just spam the spacebar until it goes on to the next line, and it just makes it look a bit neater and tidier. The operation still works exactly the same as if the spaces weren't there. So make it in Notepad++, then copy it in game. That's another way you can do it, sure. So where do you apply that in your operation? Well, this just creates a custom price source. So this will basically run this custom price source against any. So for reference, this monthly old mats is in the shopping operation, right? So you can see shop operation, past expansion materials, maximum auction price, monthly old mats. So it checks those 3 things. If those 3 things are all true, then it uses 50% of the DB market price. So this is the same as saying 50% DB market, but it's got those 3 checks to begin with. It's checking the sale rate, it's checking the quantity that sell, and it's also checking a DB market price as a minimum. So yeah, I'm only interested. You could tweak and tune that as much as you like. For example, I mean, you could say, right, well, if actually these 3 things are true, then maybe I just want to see that item listed anyway, and I'll make a decision on it. Maybe these 3 things filtering the trash out is good enough. Then you just want, you know, I just want to see everything above, like at market price. Cool. But that's kind of up to you. I'm only interested in hunting for cheap stuff at the moment, so is why I only want to see stuff that's less than 50% of the market price. What does the GTE part mean in the string? It's if it is greater than or equal to. So there's a few variations of those. So they're all if statements. So you're asking questions like, is this thing greater than or equal to this? And if it's true, it does what you put next to it. So there's a few combinations of these. If greater than, if less than or equal to, if greater than or equal to. You don't always need the equal to, actually. For something like when you're asking a question based on a gold value, the likelihood of the market price being exactly 3 gold to the copper is probably unnecessary, but you know, it's just a safety thing. I love custom price sources, but I hate them because TSM sync is so bad. Well, this is the slight downside. Using custom price sources like this does mean that every different account that you play on, you have to remember to make this custom price source again. I've also come to learn this the hard way with my Patreon profile, that custom price sources, even though they should copy over when you import the groups, they often don't. So if you use any custom price sources, you've just got to remember that they take a little bit more effort to maintain, but they're so worth it when you get them set up properly. So yeah, in practice though, the way this works is if we go to the auction house, say, and if we go to browse and we try to do some searching, if we log on in the morning and we're like, right, let's go hunt some deals down, I can select cloth and I can do a run a shopping scan. And what you'll actually see is most of the results don't show a percentage. Even stuff that you would sometimes think might be worthwhile looking at, like, I don't know, wool cloth, netherweave cloth, you know, tide spray linen, stuff that you would usually expect to, you know, maybe, oh, well, maybe I should be buying and selling this. Tide spray linen, surely, BFA, right? Well, actually, when you look into it, no, its sale rate is 0.13, which is, so the sale rate is pretty good. The average daily sold is 700, so you can sell a reasonable amount of them. But the reason why this isn't being included is because of its market value. Its market value is 1 gold and 61. There's very, very little room for flipping on something that's so incredibly cheap and so consistently incredibly cheap. Now, sure, if you buy them for 61 silver and you sell them for 1 gold, 61 silver, and you sell 600 a day, then okay, sure, maybe. If the stars align on that being a thing, then you've made 600 gold, cool. But, you know, generally speaking, there's not a huge amount of room for movement on there, so it excludes it. All 3 of those factors that we defined need to be true for it to show a percentage. So currently on this realm, there's only four pieces of cloth material that qualify. Frostweave. Although the problem with Frostweave right now is there's none of it that's cheap. This would be an indication if you had some stashed away in a guild bank actually to go out, dig it out and get it on the auction house because it's way overpriced at the moment. Frostweave cloth has a 0.22 sale rate, so tick, way more than what we set as a minimum. Its regional average daily sold is 400 or nearly 400, so that's also way above the minimum that we set. And its market value is 4 gold on this realm. So once again, it's also something that's ticks all 3 of the boxes. The only problem is there's none cheap available for us to buy. So we would want to be buying this at less than 2 gold a piece, and currently it's 9. So yeah, that's not happening. You want to be looking for the green and the blue percentages. The smaller the percentage, the better. You can in theory still look at stuff that goes above 100%. It just means your margin is relatively tight on that. If you've got loads of spare gold, sure, cool, go for it. But I'm not in that position right now. I'm being very selective. And that's the point. You can tweak it and tune it to be how selective or not selective you want to be. One that might show up some more results is probably ore and bars. We can do a search on these now. See what pops up. See, for the most part, it's excluding a lot of the materials because they just don't qualify for us. Because we're after those quick, cheap resales at the moment. Let's give it a second to finish loading. It's nearly there. Bingo. So the only one that really jumps out is copper bars. But what's copper bars saying? Let's just take a very quick glance at it. So regional sale rate 0.08, so above our 0.06 threshold. Regional average sold per day is 40, so that's over the 20 threshold that we'd look for. And its market value is 10 gold over here, which is of course above the 3 gold, which is what we set at. And now the bonus here is that the current cheapest listings are 2 gold and 75. So at 2 gold and 75, there's the probability that we could buy some of these and flip them round. For example, the next cheapest sale is actually 4 gold. Now, there's only 6 of them. There's not a lot of them. And there's a lot above us, so we probably don't want to buy too many of them, but we can definitely flip those round for sure. Now, when you click on the buyout button, it will buy out a quantity based on 7 times the daily regional average sold. Don't instantly click buy. You want to adjust this to the ones you do actually want to buy. I'm not really too interested in buying them up to 5 gold a piece because there's a lot of them kicking about right now. Secondly, I think that 10 gold a piece for a copper bar is kind of inflated to what it should be. If we look at the regional average, regional sale average, we can see that they sell for about 6 gold is what they actually sell for usually. But it does mean these cheaper ones we're relatively comfortable buying. And there's not really a huge amount others. There is some low level ores actually, so let's take a quick look just at copper ore as well. We've already got a whole bunch of copper ore being listed, so we want to be cautious about buying too much considering we already have a lot of it. Cobalt, we've got a few bits of cobalt listed. This Lobotomite character is a shady character, I feel. They seem to be posting a lot and they seem to be choosing to deep undercut on a lot of stuff. Not quite sure why. Tin ore. There's 110 tin ore at 5 gold 75. Now tin ore has a market value of 10 gold over here. But taking a look at the region, we can see that's regionally it has a market value of 6, but it doesn't really usually sell for much over 5. But based on the fact that there's a huge gap between this and there's not a huge amount of them, we could buy that out and try and flip it round. We're at least going to reset the price a little bit. We've sold a bunch of this in the past. Use your past data as well. Use your past sales history to guide you as well, because every realm's going to be a little bit different. I've sold nearly 200 tin ore in the past for 6.5 gold. So we know we can get consistent sales at 6.5 gold if we need to. We could buy that for a cheeky little flip, but it's not a huge... we'll give it a punt. Why not? Now apparently it doesn't appear to be there anymore. Have you thought about using DB region sale average in in case your DB market is a bit high. Yeah, I've thought about having a fallback option, putting something in place so that yes, if the market price appears to be inflated, then it suggests using something else. But I haven't quite put the thought process together of what I want that to be. Put min 120 DB region market average at the start. I'm confused about where you want me to put the 120 region average. Now my TSM's having a field day because it can't find these. Let's go grab those materials real quick. Oh, okay, so it just uses the smaller of the two. Yeah, that's probably pretty sensible. So if the market, even 50% of our market price is ludicrously expensive because it's inflated, it will still just use 120% the DB region market average. So it will show the material. Yeah. Yeah, that also takes into account that some realms are just naturally more expensive than others either way. So what Woo's saying there is that we could adjust our price source. So we still have these 3 criteria that we search by to begin with. Or we could still define against these 3, but we could put it in just here instead. So we could say minimum 120 DB region, what was it? DB region market average, isn't it? I wish, one thing I really would wish that is DB region market average. Like the fact that there's an average in this one, but there's not in DB market is like, then we're going to need another bracket here. So if these 3 things are true, if these 3 things are all true, then it'll use whatever's the smallest of these 2. Maybe we should set it to just regular DB market. Because that's basically in essence what we're doing. We're doing 3 checks, and then if the 3 checks are true, if the 3 checks end up being true, then this is what happens. This becomes our price source for our shopping operation. How does that work in reality? Let's do herbs. But like that stuff that's 90% of the DB market will show us yellow even if they aren't a great deal. So it's still filtering out a lot of the trash that we don't really care about. We're only looking at stuff that's, you know, true against 3 criteria to begin with. It's getting it to a point where you are confident that you don't have to do much actual thinking. So for instance here, I should just almost regardless be buying these rain poppy, right? Because for some reason they have a 0.08 sale rate. You sell 20 of them a day on average. Their market value here is 3 gold a piece, even though region wide it's only 2 gold and 12. Yet they're still stupid cheap. So this is almost like an absolute no-brainer. Like a genuine no-brainer. Weirdly, actually, it looks like I've already bought some. I've bought 200 of these already. I should have probably bought the rest of them. Just buy all of the cheap stuff out. There's really not a lot there. Really not a lot there at all. Interesting. Why are our auctioning prices as such? Why is our normal price 95 silver? Because it's 2 times our smart average buy price, that's why. I need to switch up my operation up for posting, I think. Let's cancel those off. Because what we actually want to do when we list things, past expansion stackables, I'm caught, like, what I desperately don't want to do on old materials is get into, like, start undercutting those stupid 40,000 gold stuff. I hope you guys and girls understand that a lot of Trade Skill Master comes through this sort of trial and error to begin with. Now, if you really sit down and you think about everything logically, you probably do it right first time, but that's just not how I work. I like to start with something simple, make it overly complicated, and then rein in the shit that's not necessarily needed until you get something in the middle that's quite precise, but it does its job. By that point, a 5% doesn't matter. So if we're ignoring stuff that's really cheap, if it goes below 70% market price or our smart average buy price, whichever one comes first. So if we have bought the material, this is just a catch-all so that if we farm stuff, it still lists. So if we farmed it, it will go by a minimum price of DB market price. But if the market price is massively inflated, which tends to happen, we want to pick the smallest of the two for this as well. The smallest of the two probably again wants to be, the minimum price will probably say, let's also go with 70% of the region. DB region market average, or what is 70% of the DB market, whichever one happens to be smaller of those two. Then we're missing a bracket now. So there's a catch-all. If we buy them, this is what happens. It just, you know, goes by our smart average buy price, which is fine. But when it comes to posting things, when they go, if something goes below this, ignore them. Our normal price shouldn't kick into play all that frequently then. Because if it goes above maximum, this needs changing as well. This needs something a little bit more special. With having it set to ignore auctions below minimum, the likelihood is we're probably not actually going to post it normal all that frequently. But if we do, we want to double our money on what we've bought it. Even doubling our money seems... yeah, Hagu, that's exactly the reason why I'm changing this, because it needs to be a little bit more flexible than that. It needs to be whatever is the largest, I think, of these two. But I also don't want to... This should actually very simply just be changed to max. Whatever's the largest of the two numbers. Personally, I'll just use DB market. What if you end up buying at bait prices? Exactly. That's kind of the thing, right? So normal isn't going to kick in all that frequently. Now, if our smart average buy price is really, really low, then it will just post at 95% of the DB market price, because as we tend to know, anything posted at or slightly under DB market price is always still very tempting for somebody to buy. Because crafting in this game goes by market price, so anything under 100% is in line with what people will buy if they're just using TSM crafting by default, which is why my normal prices don't go above market price. What something is worth is not changed by what you paid for it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm. You might be right. I might just not necessarily need to reference my smart buy price anyway. If we're in that position where we've either got to buy out or everything. Yeah. Yeah. I think I agree. I think having smart average buy price in here is not really necessary. Could literally just go boom. But I also then want to be cautious if the market price is massively inflated. I want to bring that market price down because it's massively inflated. If the market price happens to be 10 times greater than what that is of the region market average, indicating that it's heavily inflated, use 120% DB region market average. If not, use 95% DB market. That will base, let's go, let's think about this. Is there any, see that's still, having just a flat multiplier is not great, because that doesn't scale. Because for example, let's say cobalt ore that usually sells for 30 gold a piece, the chance of it being 250 gold a piece for cobalt is still massively inflated, even though that's less than 10 times. Just a flat integer multiplier here doesn't really work. There's a smarter way to do this, I just can't think of what it is. The sensible thing to do is just limit it. It's going to annoy me that there's a much better way to do this. This 5 times DB region market average. So if the market price is greater than 5 times the market average, then it uses the region market average as the normal price. If it's not, then it just uses the regular 95% DB market. But there's a much better way to do this. Because the scenario of where something is 2 gold or the scenario where the market price of something is 30 gold is... Those two scenarios are very different. Having it in the min price is fair enough, but for normal it's not worth. For normal, do region average, region market then. Brings down any inflation. If regionally it's 20 and the market is 100, what do you want to sell it for? I'm kind of happy with this. I mean, like I said, the likelihood of us posting things at normal price is actually pretty slim, because, and if it does no, that's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. My maximum I'm not happy with. We want to do things between 70%. It's this whole the entire needing to counter overinflated prices is really annoying. It's something that you don't really feel that you should have to do. But if you focus on turnover, there is absolutely no point selling a copper bar for 5,000 gold. Token price, I saw the EU token price go up to 293,000 gold. Hang on, my dog's going mental. Please hold. I don't know, postman walk past or something. What are you going to do? Yeah, token prices get... I mean, it was the Hearthstone announcement yesterday, I imagine. I imagine people cashed out a bunch of gold for Hearthstone, for the fact that the new Hearthstone thing comes out soon, or now, or something. I don't know. Which would have in turn bumped up the price even further. Could do a custom price, real DB market. That would fix the real market, yeah. Because you could do all the complicated stuff in there then, rather than having to replicate it all the time in operations. I'm a big fan of keeping my operations simple. I'd rather have the complex stuff in custom operations. Oh, 30% off Shadowlands. Yeah, that might be a thing. All the complications in one place that you can then fiddle with later. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, quite simply, one of the biggest mistakes I see people do with TSM is almost going to the point where they make a single operation for every item. And all of their operations are called things like enchants that use 4 crystals, enchants that use 3 crystals, healing potions, flasks. If all your operations are named after items, then there's almost always a better way to do it. If I make a custom price source called Real Market, I need to put some thought into that. How do we get it to naturally counter inflation? Let's leave that as it is for now. I'm somewhat happy with how that is. We'll undercut things anywhere down to 200% of the DB market. Or, no, this is once again dependent on what the region's doing. I mean, that should work. But yeah, you're right. We need to fix this. Having all of this choosing between market and region market to counteract silly inflationary stuff is probably not necessary. We could do that smarter somewhere else. But let's try that. I'm going to do a reload because otherwise, if we crash, then settings don't get saved. Every time, get into the habit of every time you do something sort of important with TSM to do a reload. Because if your game crashes or the add-on does an error, sometimes it doesn't save your settings and then you don't find out until it's too late. I've been suckered by that one the hard way. So, for example here, tin ore that has, in my opinion, a remarkably inflated or somewhat inflated market value. On a realm this size, there's no reason that tin ore should be 10 gold a piece. It's choosing to post it at a far more sensible point, which is good. 20 gold is above where it should be. That's more sensible. That's kind of doing what it should be doing. Pyrite ore being undercut to 70 gold a piece though. Whoa, pyrite ore is just genuinely that expensive. Alright, fair enough. Shows what I don't know about NA. Yo, we sold some titanium ore. When I hear inflation, I think of the transmog problem, where normal is set to 125% of the market price, then it'll end up going up to gold cap. Yeah. This is a huge... Transmog is almost a market that it almost feels like I get into the same conversation nearly every stream, but transmog to me feels like a market that's just got way out of hand. It needs... somebody, it needs somebody with a relatively public platform to suggest a better way of doing it. I wonder who that could be. I would imagine that if I was to take a look at it, I bet Student's TSM setup for transmog probably doesn't help the situation because I bet his I bet his are very, very inflationary. It's why I incorporate actual sale average into my sale prices. Yeah. Monthly 99G. Well, that's it. For me, transmog is like, if it's got a value of around 1,000 gold, I'll list it for 99 gold. Then I might sell it. I'm still 100 gold richer than before I had it, you know. Want to buy gold has a TSM group for transmog. See, it's not something that would actually be that difficult to do, because if you made a catch-all system for it, you literally have a group with the name transmog, and as long as you tell people to put things in that group based on the base item, as long as you teach people to populate the group with the items that they receive through farming transmog correctly, the auctioning operations should just do their job. The problem is like what was said earlier, when the normal price is set to 125% of the market price, before too long, 100 gold turns into 125 gold, which turns into 175 gold, which turns into 300 gold, which turns into 500 gold, and eventually that item, after a week or two of people reposting it, is 1,000 gold apparently. Apparently this thing is now like quadrupled in value in the space of 7 days out of nowhere. When in reality, it wasn't selling when it was cheap, so, you know. I set mine to be the regional sale average. That helps. I'm sure that helps. It's nice that we do get some sale average now, because it gives you an indication to, right, this is actually what somebody paid for it, rather than, you know, a speculative number. Transmog I tend to deep undercut in the hopes that somebody will try to flip it. It becomes their problem now. Hey, hence my 99 gold group, yeah. Like, if it's 1,000 gold, yeah, sure, I'd love 1,000 gold for selling a piece of transmog. You know what I'd rather get? I'd rather get it out of my bags, out of my inventory, out of my hair, but sell it for 100 gold. Sure. .1 shouldn't you really be using personal sales rate, not region? Well, the fact that we do have it, it's a data source that we can pull from. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, I know I do a lot of talking about transmog, and it's all hot air at the moment because I've not really done anything about it. But the problem is I basically never have any inclination to go out transmog farming. So I never have any gear. It's never actually a problem for me. It just frustrates me greatly that people get told that a great way to make gold is transmog, and the way the market is set up, it's like transmog market's a bubble almost. It's a bubble that, you know, the more people, the higher the higher the inflation of the transmog items, the more lucrative it looks for people to get into the market. And the more people that get into the market because it looks lucrative, the higher the prices of the items ends up. And it's a bubble that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You said transmog flipping was the pro move, and I think I agree. Yeah, like trying to find the true value of these transmog items and being able to sift through the shit, like the 99% trash that's on the auction house that people consider transmog and get excited about when it drops in their loot appraiser. I think it's a different situation if you're going to have a transmog only bank hold. Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. One day I'll get round to doing something about it. One day I'll get round to doing something about it, but Lazy was flipping island gear a few months ago. That market will crash soon though. It won't crash, it will take a dip. It will take a dip when patch 9.1.5 comes out and they give us the ability to solo island expeditions. But do pets first, please. I'm way more inclined to do pets. I'm 10 times more interested in pets than I am transmog. That's much, much higher on my priority list, for sure. Way more attractive to me is the old pets than transmog is. Pets have been a little bit more steady for me the last couple of weeks. Was very slow at the start of expansion. Yeah, I think more people are getting into collector mode. We've got flying. People can run around and they can collect things a little bit more. When the content lull really kicks in, those that do just really enjoy playing the game, regardless to what the public opinion is, turn to collecting stuff. One of the things that people love to collect is pets. And I've said this a few times, but the big reason I want to get into pets is because I see it more as an evergreen market. If you're dealing with crafted stuff, you tend to be dealing with whatever's popular at the time. I mean, Legendaries is a prime example of that. Like, Legendaries is the epitome of crafting, for sure. But at the same time, come patch 10.0, the Legendary market will be actually dead. Like, it has a finite lifespan. The Legendary market now, cool, great, somewhat buoyant, loads of sales to be made, people are spending big money. But there'll come a point in time where the entire market will just die, dead, game over. Whereas things like pets, that will probably never happen. Which is in turn, you could say that there's the same argument for transmog, because people are always going to care how their characters look. And if a piece of gear just looks cool, the chances are it will always look cool. So transmog is a little bit more evergreen, but it needs to be done correctly. And I feel 99% do it wrong. Pets for me has that added benefit of the fact that it's cross-realm. Like it's got scalability. Transmog doesn't have scale because if it only needs 2 or 3 people on a server to have 2,000 or 3,000 items of transmog being listed, and they by themselves completely flood that entire server with transmog. There's no room to move much further than that. Pets though, on the other hand, because you can buy them anywhere and you can sell them literally anywhere, you can really scale that far over and above. That's probably the main attraction for me for pets. The fact that, you know, it scales nicely. That for me, Shadowlands was all about scaling my operation. I felt going into Shadowlands that I knew what I was doing. I'd pretty much saturated my home realm. And it was kind of getting a bit boring being a big fish in a small pond. Hence why we've moved on to a much bigger realm to start with. We're also expanding on the NA. And we've even got a couple of characters ready on Draenor to get going with as well. Get a quick cancel scan on the go though, because we should in theory be putting in the Auction House PvP time today. I'm slightly concerned I've got way too many Corthite crystals on this server though. I really do need to power through some of them. Although the price seems to have stabilised at about 400 to 500 gold on this realm, I still worry about having just quite so much inventory. Or such a stockpile. I mean, I've got over 3,000 Corthite crystals on this realm, which is good for like, what's that, like 70 legendaries or something. I could, if I had a monstrously good day, I could probably burn through all of that today. But realistically, that's like a week's worth of supply for me on this server, which is a little bit more than what I want to be holding on to. How much have you made so far today? We've sold a few things this morning. Not a huge amount. We've got 50,000 coming through off a couple of sales here. But we've got 100,000 in the mailbox. So 150k over here. Nothing too special. Oh, we've been logged out. This isn't going to log us back in, is it? No. We've also been logged out here. Yeah, the reconnect button tends not to work if you have two battle nets open. Where have they gone? That one. So which accounts am I missing? Our NA account is still up. We're missing EU account 1. And we're also missing EU account number 3. Tell you what, when the token price hits 300k, it's going to start getting real expensive having 4 accounts running all the time. Especially if I somewhat turn off the goal making. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I'm itching to go play some other games for a couple of weeks. Not to say that I'm burning out of Warcraft, there's just not a lot going on right now. There's lots of stuff I could do, and there's lots of stuff I kind of still want to do on WoW. But I've been playing WoW pretty heavily for about 6 months straight now. I think it was, when was it we last went and played Factorio? February? Once you're set up, it's just reposting and crafting. Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? On the couple of realms that I'm established on, I'm at that point, right? It's just recrafting and reposting, which gets quite monotonous for me. I enjoy the journey of getting to the point where, you know, you complete. I enjoy the journey getting to that point. The repetitive recrafting and reposting tends to, it kills me really quickly. This is why you go raid. But raiding doesn't interest me because I'm not bothered about gearing up. For me, the thing about raiding would be to go and, you know, just chill with a bunch of mates for a couple of hours kind of thing. But the TLDR of that is that I'm not in a guild. I don't have many real life friends that actually play World of Warcraft anymore. I mean, I could do it on stream, sure. But it doesn't actually, raiding doesn't really grab my attention anymore. As soon as you stop caring about gear, your desire to do those raids drops off very quickly. Any suggestions for somebody coming back into gold farming / gold making? I mean, materials is always a super safe option. Farming up some materials for sure. There's always a market for materials. Whether it's Whether it's super worthwhile in terms of, you know, gold per hour is your call, but pick up your herbalist, pick up your miner. There's always money to be made there. It probably not multi-millionaire level money, but farming is always the first point. If you've already got a sizable amount of gold though, you can start looking at doing some crafting, and there's multiple things that are profitable now. On a basic level, consumables will still trickle along. Sitting on 2 million gold right now. With 2 million gold, you probably don't need to worry too much about doing any farming anymore. If you want to do some crafting to increase your gold, you can. Be aware though that you'll probably have to spend a good chunk of that 2 million gold on buying materials to craft a bunch of items. I've checked for the 230 stuff, but there's only around 1 profit on 2 to 3 items. 1k profit. Profit's profit though, right? You've got to people need to break the barrier mentally of you need to break it up. You need to consider it capital for investment, and then how quickly can that capital turn into more gold. So like if it takes you 5,000 gold to make 1,000 gold, why wouldn't you do it? Because you already have the 5,000 gold. Is there a chance that you lose that 5,000 gold? Yes. But the thing is it's not a 100% win or 100% loss. So if you spend 5,000 gold of your capital, which you already have, by the way, you've got 2 million of it, to create something that gives you the opportunity to make 1,000 gold, why would you not do it? The purchase of the materials takes you 10 seconds. Crafting the thing takes another 10 seconds. Listing it on the auction house, another 10 seconds. Within a minute, you could have taken that 5,000 gold and given yourself the opportunity to generate 1,000 gold more. This is the nature of crafting. Obviously, there's a few more ins and outs to it there, sure. But probably because I'm a greedy goblin. Or, instead of spending that 1 minute crafting a piece of 230 gear, you could spend 10 minutes farming herbs and ore and give yourself 1,000 gold worth of materials to list on the auction house. But the reason why crafting scales considerably further than farming is because if you craft one item and it makes you 1,000 gold, that's great, it only took you a minute. But what if you find 10, 20, 30 different items that you can craft that all make you 1,000 gold? Then all of a sudden it doesn't take you 20, 30, 40 times longer to craft everything. Still only takes you a minute to buy the materials. It still only then takes you maybe 2 minutes to craft the things and another 30 seconds to relist them on the auction house. And then all of a sudden you've made 30,000 gold in 5 minutes. Was farming old blacksmithing plans to make a factory. Yeah. Getting your professions up and running is one of the best long-term ways of making gold. Because, I mean, once you've... if you farm a material, you sell that material. You have gold from selling that material. If you farm a blacksmithing plan, and you learn that blacksmithing plan, you get to create an item that you can then sell. Instead of a material, you're selling an item. When that item sells... guess what? You still have the blacksmithing plan. You craft it again and you sell it again. And then when that sells, you craft it and you sell it again. You only ever have to invest the time of farming once. Which is, yeah, Another reason why I love crafting. I know people enjoy farming. Sure, I get it. If it's relaxing, you throw up Netflix, you do it in your spare time. True. But there comes a point where you either should start farming for different things, or you should start like switching up what you do. If it's an item that's been profitable for 10 years, it's reasonable to expect it's going to be so for another 10. Vial of the Sands is the best example of that for me. Vial of the Sands has a reasonably tragic RNG-based farming method to get the pattern. But if you do it, then you will be able to craft and sell Vial of the Sands forever and a day. There are people out there that have been selling that mount for years at this point. There are probably people that pay for the game time wise, solely by selling Vial of the Sands. It's a single mount that's quite cool because it's a 2-person mount. It's got an annoying farm to get the recipe, so there's not as many people that have got it. But it still consistently sells everywhere. Like the Sky Golem, don't know how this mount can still sell, but everybody must have it now. There is people misunderstand just how many people do actually play this game. Secondly, what's known as churn, player churn. There are permanently hundreds, if not thousands, of new players to the game every week. One of the very first things those new players get told to do if they want to make gold in the game is go out farming. Additional to that, one of the very first things they get told is that to farm effectively, you either need to be a druid, and unfortunately they rolled a mage because it looked cool. And now if you're not a druid, they get told that, well, it's okay, just go buy a Sky Golem. Boom! There's your demand. Permanent demand. I've sold 9 Panthers in the last 4 weeks. There you go. Not made vials in months, I should start making them again. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I should really make them, but I've got it on a realm where I don't expect to really sell them, so it's a bit annoying. I farmed the vial once and I've changed professions and thought I could get recipes back with books, but no. Ouch. Yeah, that's not good. If you farmed up Vial of the Sands on your alchemist, that character will forever be an alchemist. My shaman's got it on this realm. My shaman, Rocket Chick, is my alchemist, and in turn has a Vial of the Sands recipe. And for this reason, this character will forever and a day be my alchemist. This will never change because of that one goddamn stupid recipe. I might have other alchemists. I've actually got other alchemists. I think my priest is also an alchemist, because there is benefits to having at least 3 alchemists. But that's other topic of conversation. Right, let's get Facebook out the way. I've not done Facebook today. I've done a cancel scan and I've not posted stuff. Good effort, Manthius. Well done. Pat yourself on the back. Oh, that entire conversation started by me being asked how much gold I've made today. Well, apparently I've done about 300,000 gold already on this realm. Minus a dead auctioneer. Great. Well, maybe I won't be relisting those auctions then. If only I had a long boy. I can't believe there's nobody's chilling in Booty Bay here that doesn't have a long boy. It makes me sick to think just how many of these horde, quote unquote, Well, the reason none of these players has a long boy is because probably 50% of these players are bots. But the fact that nobody has a long boy is terrible. I must remember to do this. I need to put 10 million gold on a character, on a level 60 character, and just sit them at the black market auction house. I mean, yeah, I could, in theory, just fly over this way and talk to the dude over here. But it's like, ugh. Then they'll come and kill this one. I know your opinion on Samsung displays, but looking at the American fridges now, most of them are from Samsung. They are, yeah. Hi, everybody. People waving at me. Goldberg and Sales, how we doing? Welcome, welcome. I'm not hot on my fridges, but yes, I do know Samsung makes a lot of them. I don't entirely dismiss Samsung as a brand. I just think they need to stick to what they're good at. I never really, I was never responsible for the white goods section. So I don't really know. If fridge is something you want it to last 20 years plus, yeah, exactly. I don't really know. With my experience on fridges is not great. I know for like washing machines and stuff, you probably want like, there's a couple of good people for washing machines, there's a couple of good people for dishwashers and stuff, but for fridges, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know. Melee, but it comes at a price. Yeah, they do. Melee do come at a price. Siemens are very good. I mean, German engineering. My entire kitchen's Siemens. Siemens are one of the more expensive for white goods. Not quite as expensive as Melee, but reasonably good. We've got a big expensive Siemens fridge now and it's terrible. There we go. Like people's experiences differ. Need somebody to invent a washing machine without a huge big piece of concrete in it? Why? I mean, you can, it's just not going to spin very fast. If you take the concrete out, it just can't spin very fast. Right, what did we sell and where did we sell it? We sold something somewhere. We sold a Grimveld robe at rank 4 over here. We sold a random rank 3 Shadowgas Sabatons. On NA, we aren't selling anything. Alright, let's get Facebook sorted. The switch to see if the door is closed or not doesn't work properly. Had 2 technicians look at it and it still breaks every other day. The switch to see if the door is closed? Why have you... Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, the one on the inside. Yeah, okay. I don't know. It was never a market that I was too experienced in. Let's put it that way. Right, big juicy bonus XP ones. Here we go. Big juicy bonus XP one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get all you low guys on this one. Everybody's a winner. Everybody levels up. That's exactly what we want. Big experience, 1200 experience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can all have lots of experience. Off you go. 1500 experience. Go on then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they win. Off you go. There's a couple of thousand. There's another 1500 here. Everybody's on some big missions. Good stuff. And then I guess sending a single dude on a 1200 mission's probably not that sensible. You can go on this one. Can you win? You can. Solo that bitch. What is that 1500 XP mission? Never seen it before. The 1500 Dreaded Lurker. Heroes Skinning Cache. It's a 51 plus mission. There's also one that is Slime and Punishment that gives me a crossbow. These are, I think you've got to get your troops above 48, I think, before you unlock these. Right, there was Facebook done real quick there. When the followers hit 50, they're about halfway to 60 in terms of XP needed. Yeah, 49 is the midpoint, I think. But equally, by the time they hit level 50, they're pretty much strong enough to solo most missions. I mean, especially if you're playing Night Fae. If you play Night Fae, by the time your followers hit 50, they can solo with the aid of a troop or two virtually every mission. So actually, the whilst getting to 60 is sure, cool, great. My goal is to get them to the point where they can solo missions, and that's when you can just spam missions like a crazy person. They come back relatively healed. You can just, instead of doing 4 or 5 missions a day, you're doing like 25, 30, 40 missions a day, and that's when it snowballs. So it's not actually about getting to 60, it's more about getting to sort of high 40s, early 50s, then you're in a good spot. But considering I'm not really doing this for the purpose of making a lot of gold just yet, I'm just zerging experience as much as I can. Like, if they complete the mission, great. If they don't complete the mission, whatever. Because they still get the experience regardless. And since 9.1, where you don't really have to worry about anima so much, you can go a little bit more trigger happy with sending people on missions, and it's all good. This add-on's called Venture Plan. It's a little bit out of date currently, but it still sort of works. Highly recommend using Covenant Mission Helper alongside Venture Plan at the moment. Yeah, there's good reason to probably have both. I just haven't bothered. Like I said, I'm not really too bothered about the bonus rewards. Because it's not like I'm trying to do it to make gold yet. I know that the cash cow part of it is once you've got your followers leveled, so I'm just purely focusing on getting them leveled. Was failing loads until I switched to mission helper back on. Yeah. There are, not that I'm too willing to go into detail about it, but there are ways and means to hack Venture Plan into a state to where it works 99% of the time again, but it's a bit dodgy. There are videos out there though if you want to search for how to do it. By some relatively well-known creators as well, which is worrying, but maybe people don't realise the ramifications of, you know, breach of copyright. See, for example, you'll see a lot of them I end up getting defeated on, but I don't really care, because I'll just send them out on another mission again. You still get the experience for the mission, win or loss. So, genuinely not really that fussed. Like this one, for example, 1500 experience, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they win, great. If they don't, whatever. Send them anyway. 5 dudes left, 1200. More importantly, if you're doing this for, if they level up, they fully restore their health anyway, so. You mean all those content creators who still don't understand the DMCA music? Yes, yes. Blows my mind the amount of content creators I still to this day see using copyright music. And people using... I've spoken to Dirty Irby about this, because he seems, you know, he seems somewhat sensible. He doesn't seem like a dum-dum. And I said to him, like, what's up with the still playing copyright music? Surely you want to take this content and put it on YouTube and do all sorts of stuff with it. And, oh yeah, but it doesn't stay in the VOD, so I can use it for YouTube. And they don't DMCA live. That's not the point, but sure. Right. If you rob a bank and get away with it, did you still commit a crime? Yeah, you did. It's just dumb. I don't know. My moral compass is obviously set different. Oh, there's actually only 36 minutes left on these missions. Ah, we're doing Facebook too early. We're doing Facebook too early. Taking ages to get enough cinders for rank 6 without running Torghast? What? Yeah. Trying to get your soul cinders without doing Torghast is... I mean, it's still fair to say the lion's share comes from Torghast, yes. You can do your assaults. I don't think I've done an assault since like the second week of the expansion. Ooh! Hey, lunch delivery. Thank you, wife. 1200 so far? Is that just off the mission? Please tell me that's just off the mission table. That's genius if that's just off the mission table. It's salad day again, boys and girls, by the way. You know, please don't pour it over my keyboard salad. The salad that doesn't have a single green item in it. Mmm, best type of salad. Just doing missions and the weekly quests. Spot on. I can safely say I still currently don't have a rank 6 legendary on a single character anywhere, because I don't care about gear. I should probably actually check if any of these missions are... Oh my god, my bags. Oh my days, my bags. I should be looking to see if I get any of those XP bonus things. Oh well, whatever. Bonus XP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off you go. Okay, there's no more big ticket ones. I spam... I mean, I do technically have a little bit of a routine for this. If it's above 1,000 XP, I spam as many of my followers on it as possible. But when I run out of 1,000 XP plus missions, then I go in the other direction. I just single dude. Now, this is a bad example because it's a level 37 mission, which these are always a pain in the ass. But it's at this point I want to actually just try and complete as many missions as possible. So when there's not huge amounts of XP to be had, then that's when we go for the bonus objectives. And just as many as possible. Just like that. Boom. And if at any point we run out of anima, we go do a sweep of Corthia, and then we don't worry about it again for a week. And that's how we do mission tables. That is how the mission tables run. Rank 6 Grimveiled Shoulders. Nice. Haha. My guess is the other auctioneer has spawned then. As I happen to be the only one still back there. Yep, there we go. Torghast not that bad as long as you don't do layer 12. I do level 11, layer 11 because it's 10 times easier. Yeah, I'm not sure have I done level 12 on any characters yet? I might not have. I'm not sure. Sometimes I do worry that I don't actually play the game. It's like it's weird, right? You can somehow manage to spend 8 hours a day playing the game but not actually feel like you've actually played the game. It's odd. Right, let's get these cancelled though. I'm quite surprised to see just how few cancels we need to be doing. Either it means that people are crashing the prices right now, or worst case, that my material prices are out of whack. If you try a level 5 without 235 plus item level, you're gonna get... Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, to be fair though, I'm a hunter, so... Hunters basically get 10 item levels for free, just because they have a pet. is the ins and outs of it. I'm sure a hunter probably could do fine. Torghast gave loot and counted towards the reward in the weekly vault. I'd absolutely love doing Torghast. I think they're getting... I think they're slowly starting to get it right with Torghast. Now, I don't really think that the the bonus area or the talent tree for Torghast is quite enough to incentivize people to go do it anyway. I really do think they need to work on the powers that come from Torghast. And I think they need to open it up a little bit more. It's still way too... Every run still feels basically the same. Which is kind of against the way... It goes totally against your average roguelite, where every playthrough is meant to feel significantly different from the last. If they opened it up a little bit more, they're almost starting to get there. It needs to give you something. They've got to be careful though that, like, if they do start giving you gear or giving you power progression based rewards, it will very quickly slip into a chore again. It's a very fine line, I think. Be better if you get soul cinders per layer, so you can do one run and one run till like layer 10 to get all. Yeah. There's still the whole all or nothing aspect to it, which was a big problem to begin with. That you only get the reward for doing it if you actually fully complete it. Now, another roguelite thing is that it's not necessarily... They're not necessarily designed for you to quote-unquote complete. You progress through them. You progress, and the more... It might take you 15 runs of doing something before you get past... Before you get to one level higher than what you did previously. Because you build up. And I guess that's where the tower knowledge kind of comes in. That if you can't complete a layer 12, you know, you can... you should still theoretically, you know, if you can't flawless it, you'll still get tower knowledge from doing it, which should hopefully push you. I mean, next time you go in, you are a little bit stronger, even if you haven't obtained any more gear. But the restrictions on Torghast are still too tight. They need to loosen it all up a bit. If they loosen it up a bit, it will start to become more fun. It's actually one of those places where, dare I say it, RNG is good for it, right? Because you want 1 out of 5 runs, 1 out of 10 runs to just be ludicrous, to be actually mental level bonkers, and that is the attraction that will keep you running it again. It's alright for the average run to not be great, but you want to get an actually super duper mega OP run slightly more frequently than you do now. Thinking about getting into the legendary crafting, but not sure if it will be worth it from scratch. Check out one of the latest videos I did on my YouTube channel. What did I call it? Legendaries are now cheaper or something. Basically, you can get into the legendary crafting system at probably 1/3 of the price to what you used to be able to, now that the Corthite crystals have come down in price. Now, it does mean that you need to unlock the Vestige of Origins optional reagent. So there's a bit of effort you have to do to unlock that. But if you unlock the Vestige of Origins, you can level up your legendaries really quite cheaply now. Okay, cheap is not the right word, but considerably less costly. You can start making rank 3s like literally the very second you enter the door. My advice is just craft 15 rank 1s and put them in the bank and ignore them. And then go on to crafting rank 4s. Are you making all legendary base items, even the pieces that have DOM sockets? Me personally, yes. But that's because I've got the capital to do it. If you don't have the gold to be able to afford that, then don't do it. Because it's, 1, it's more risky, and 2, it's going to lock up a lot of your gold. But I do it because I've already got a lot of gold and I don't mind. I probably wouldn't recommend it to start with. You want to at least, you know, You want to make your money back from leveling in the first place before you do that, but I saw the video using the cheat sheet, but I don't know if they actually sell. There's only one way to find out, my friend. There's only one way to find out. If you don't craft it, we have a rule around here. If you don't craft it, you won't sell it. There's only one way to find out. So for example, for me, my heavy stocked items are rank 4s and rank 6s. This is these are the two winners on most realms. Rank 5s I still craft one of everything regardless. Just because an occasional nicely profitable rank 5 does turn up. And having more items for sale is better than having less items in most cases. Obviously, you can very quickly get to this point. If you craft 15 rank 1s, put them in the bank, you instantly, once you unlock the Vestige of Origins recipe, of course, can start crafting rank 4s. So you're in this barrier straight away. Now what you need to do is you need to level up your professions by selling these rank 4s. Obviously, you're going to need to sell a lot of them, but rank 4s do sell. Once you've crafted and sold enough rank 4s, you'll unlock the rank 3, which will let you make a rank 5, but you're not going to get very far by doing that. You're still going to continue leveling by actually crafting rank 2s with vestiges to make rank 4s. It's a slow and steady process, but it's one that you can now do profitably again. You don't have to craft 15 of the first 3 ranks and consider them, you know, vendor trash before you can even get anywhere. What add-on is that shows the profits? This is one called Legendary Stock Tracker. I'm sure somebody in chat can do the command for you. I'll give you a link. Don't know what's happening today, but today's rank 6 day. The bloody auctioneer is dead again. It's Wednesday. Is the easy answer to that? It's Wednesday. People buy things on a Wednesday. I realistically now only, if I'm honest, even on a Wednesday, I don't focus on it that much. But Wednesday's the day I sell things, and the rest of the week I just can't be bothered. Sorry if I'm asking questions you've got a million times. No, don't worry. I mean, trust me, if you're watching and you've got questions, there's probably a very good chance that there's somebody else watching that also would be interested in the answer. So, sure, feel free to ask all your questions. Wait a minute, sir. If I've unlocked rank 3 and I craft a rank 4 with a vestige, does that level up my rank 3 to rank 4? The experience is experience. You need a total of 450 experience to unlock rank 4. However you get that is up to you. If you craft a rank 1, if you craft a rank 1 recipe, you get 5. If you craft a rank 2 recipe, you get 10. And if you craft a rank 3 recipe, you get 15 experience. By the time you've crafted enough that you've, you know, amounted 450 experience, then you unlock rank 4 and you're done. You could technically level up all the way to rank 4 just crafting rank 1 a million times. Yeah, I mean, you could. It's not sensible, but you could. This is one of the things my cheat sheet does that most people probably didn't realise. And in fairness, it's probably because I don't really explain it all that well. But for example, this is the jewel crafting one. You can, if you change the craft quantities in these boxes, so if we say that we don't want to craft any rank 3s, we craft 0 rank 3s. Now the problem is by crafting 15 rank 1s and 15 rank 2s, we only actually have amassed 225 experience, which is not enough to unlock rank 4. Now we could, in theory, craft 0 of these, and we could craft, what did somebody say, like 80 of these? It's more than that. If we crafted 90 rank 1s, you gain enough, you gain 450 experience. It's going to cost you, crafting 90 of them is going to cost you a total of 810,000 gold. In rank 1s is the cost, but you'll unlock rank 4. So it's made your total cost 810. Now that's not very optimal. The optimal is usually 15, 15 and 15. This is of course the one that people know. As you can see, if you craft 15 of each, there's only actually an expenditure of 675,000. So it's cheaper to do it this way. And this has become just the norm. People just think that you have to make 15 of each. But there are other ways around it. Of course, if you're using vestiges, the likelihood is that you'll craft 15 rank 1s. You probably won't craft any more than maybe 1 rank 3, but you'll craft it with a vestige to make your rank 5. What you'll actually need to do to fill out the rest of this is to continue to craft rank 2s, but of course we're not making rank 2s, we're just crafting with the rank 2 recipe. We're actually crafting rank 4s. So you probably need to sell something like, well, it's going to be more than 30. More than 30 rank 4s to unlock rank 4 natively. Which we're only trying to unlock rank 4 natively so that we can craft a rank 6. You might find it sensible to craft a couple of rank 3s just to have them by the time you get close. So let's just say you craft 5 rank 3s. You turn one of them into a rank 5, maybe 2 of them into a rank 5 if they're profitable. The rest of them you just have as rank 3s that you try and sell. You never know, you might sell your rank 3s profitably, who knows. But that you've got choice, right? This is the point. As long as you get 450 experience, that's all you care about. So this is another possible route. 15 rank 1s, because you've just got to get out of rank 1 hell as fast as possible. Then by the time you unlock rank 2, make a whole bunch of actually rank 4s, which will, especially with if your Corthite crystal prices are right, you're making rank 4s for less than what it costs somebody to natively craft a rank 4. It's quite an intricate system now with this Vestige of Origins. There's no one right answer anymore. The right answer for most used to be 15, 15, 15. They unlock rank 4 and then that's it. It's the simplest and it's the easiest to understand, but it's actually one of the more expensive ways of doing it now. Rank 1 hell, I want that on a t-shirt. Yeah, you just got to get out of rank 1 hell. Got to get out of there. Some of you may have also noticed that I've put some I've put some black squares around each of the different ranks based on some feedback I got from Samadan, that he was struggling to work out which numbers were related to which ranks. So there's a, you know, this is why I like to get feedback on these stuff, because the feedback goes into improving the sheet. The legibility, readability of the sheet I've improved a little bit, I think, with just some simple borders. But use the cheat sheet. It's available in the Discord. Link down below, or somebody can do. Sir Coffeebot will usually start shouting about the Discord quite frequently, so the link's in chat. But right, before we get too much further, I need to go get rid of my plate and stuff from lunch and go grab a drink. So occupy yourselves for a couple of minutes. Do some, get up, stretch your legs, do some star jumps. Take a bathroom break. I'm going to run a couple of ads for a couple of minutes. If you want to avoid the ads, the best way to avoid the ads is to hit that sub button. Give it a little poke either way. You never know, you might have a Prime Gaming sub lying about that you didn't realise. I'd be more than happy to take it off your hands. It helps support the channel. But I'll be back in 2 minutes, boys and girls. Right, what did we sell? Are we millionaires yet? Not quite. Really should keep on top of these cancel scans. It still seems to be, if I were to keep on top of it, I think I'd still sell a reasonable amount today. It's just actually keeping on top of it. Maybe I'm trying to do too many things at once, but surely I can play on 4 accounts at the same time, right? Surely my multitasking is that good. Belagar, how we doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to see ya. I probably should actually, considering it's reset day, go and do some of the more... I should go do Shaping Fate, for example. Shaping Fate is much quicker and easier to do on a day like today because all the rares are basically insta respawning because everybody's trying to spam through it really quick. It's a good day to tick some boxes. And we get renown as well. What do we get renown wise this week? We can go up to 66 this week, right? So we're going to get a new Soulbind upgrade. We're also going to get... Oh, just 2 Soulbind upgrades, okay. Not a huge amount of interesting juicy juice there then, but okay, sure. What legendary items are your biggest sellers? Shadowgast Ring by a mile is the one. You basically can't beat the Shadowgast Ring right now. If you can craft them at the right price, which you always can, by the way, it's just figuring out how. The Shadowgast Ring is just mental profitable. Jewel crafting in general is really good. The necks do still sell, just as long as you're not trying to be too greedy on the price for the necks, because they don't actually sell anywhere near as fast. Let me take this dude's quest before he annoys me. If you don't actually, if you're not too greedy on the price that you ask for the necks and are willing to be competitive on them, you can do really well with jewel crafting right now. Jewel crafting is probably #1 profession in 9.1. But to be fair, I'm not actually keeping too on top of my auctions recently. I've been doing other things. For example, I can't remember the last time I did a repost of items, which I probably really should do, but it's fine. Once you've made a whole stack of cash and you're sat on millions of gold, it is perfectly acceptable to sit back and chill. Because it's not like I really need the gold for a lot at the moment. I'm more doing it just because I can. Alright, click the broker quest. Is this going to give us 3 Corthite crystals today? No, it's going to give us a piece of gear. It's actually going to give us a 207 piece of gear that it claims to be an upgrade even. 207 trinket. Trinkets have been my I've been using the instructor's divine bell for a long time because it's genuinely actually a very good trinket. I just need a better version of it. My one's only 194. Let's grab Shaping Fate. I need to remember to just do, well, not remember, but I need to actively choose to go and continue doing my dailies. I should at least, you know, churn through dailies and do the grind until I'm exalted. I just should. Ooh, shoulder piece. Random cosmetic, cool. For essences, do you buy them or prospect them? Whichever's the cheapest. honestly, whichever's the cheapest. Like, if you know the maths and you have your TSM set up correctly, sometimes it is actually cheaper to buy the essences. But it depends on how and what you prospect. If you're the best way to do jewel crafting is to prospect lacerite ore and craft both rings and necks, and in turn obviously sell them. But obviously that's not always too easy to achieve. If you sell through your necks considerably faster than you sell your rings, for example, why is it telling me to go back now? Should I not have taken that flight point? I shouldn't have taken that flight point. Where's the grippy thing to get me back? Alright, I don't know why I took that flight point. Regarding jewel crafting, I did a video on, well, I think I called it my ultimate prospecting guide. Check that one out, and, you know, just do what I say in the video, and you'll have a lot better understanding of whether you should be buying essences or prospecting, and in turn, what you should be prospecting. That video answers a lot of questions for people. Finally hit rank 6 on my main today. It's a long old slog. Yeah, this is the thing. Rank 6 with the codex is a slog. I can understand that for sure. I'm not even rank 5 yet. Nor do I even want to think about the grind from 5 to 6. I mean, I know I should be doing it, but there's lots of things in this game I should be doing. Like turning up my graphic settings for one. Yeah, it's we've got plenty of time. That's the thing for me. I'm relatively safe. Oh, did I let my pet die? What a terrible human. We've got plenty of time until 9.2. I imagine, as tends to be the case, whatever happens in 9.2 will basically make Korthia null and void. So I almost want to make sure that I've done everything I want to do in Korthia way before patch 9.2 becomes a thing. Because we see this all the time, right? If we get an expansion zone, that zone tends not to last more than the patch. But I do wonder what they could do for patch 9.2, because it's usually we don't get a new zone this quickly. And when I say quickly, I mean in terms of patch cycle, not actual time. I know nothing's been quick this expansion so far, but because Mechagon and Najatar turned up in 8.2. But as we saw, by the time 8.3 landed, people's desire to spend time in Mechagon and Najatar disappeared very quickly. And the same will probably be the case here, that the second 9.2 lands, and nobody going to Korthia anymore. Hope 10.0 is back in Azeroth at all zones. Yeah, I don't know what they'll do for 10.0. I mean, I'm goddamn sure as hell I hope that they know what they're doing for 10.0, but I'm not really sure I could predict it. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to work out that it will probably just be an expansion zone again, because, I mean, that's been the trend forever. Burning Crusade we had Northrend, and then Wrath we had... Sorry, Burning Crusade we had Outlands, and then Wrath we had Northrend. When they did Cataclysm and tried to change... and I mean, in fairness, they added extra zones in Cataclysm. Yet still fucked up the world. People got a bit annoyed with that. I don't know. I don't know what they could do. I don't know what the solution is now. I tell you what, it's not a fun time to be a game developer for World of Warcraft. It really isn't, because it's not an easy job right now. Because not only have you got a very... You've got the watching eye of not just the people that play the game, but every single person that's almost ever played the game right now. The pressure really is on to pull something out the bag. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Blizzard tried this in Cataclysm and they're still feeling the trauma from that. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. This is why they tend to, you know, release new zones, because they have to attach the title of new to it. And if they just go back to an old zone, it's no longer new, and then they get criticised for, you know, not developing anything. The player base doesn't make it easy for Blizzard. But at the same time, I think after this long, then they need to... we are due something incredible, right? Shadowlands was meant to be it. And, yeah, so far it's not been. I think my game's starting to complain about having 4 instances of the... If I'm just chilling in the auction house, I think my computer's capable of doing 4 instances of WoW, but if we're actually out playing the game, it starts to struggle. I enjoyed Cataclysm, to be honest. I didn't really have many gripes with Cataclysm. I'm going to be honest though, it's so long ago now I can't really remember whether I thoroughly enjoyed it or not. All I remember is that Cataclysm was the expansion to where I started making YouTube content. So maybe I was slightly more invested in Cataclysm than I thought, but... I want another Legion. It's incredible, right? Because at the time, nobody was saying that at the time. Nobody was praising Legion for being a fantastic expansion at the time. It was only in hindsight of BFA. Hang on. I've just realised I'm done here, aren't I? They just need to implement smart systems that will keep players in the game, but not complex and annoying systems that nobody without thousands of World Quests to do. Yeah, like they've tried to way overcomplicate things recently. My inventory's full. Really? They need to go back to simple systems. Don't make shit 7 levels of complicated. People don't want that. People don't want to work it out. All these complicated systems do is make an even greater divide between the 1% and the 99%. I don't like using the word casual, but you kind of have to in some instances. If the divide between the casuals and the 1% is too great, it's not good for the game. And that's primarily caused by overly complicated, overly restrictive systems. If they keep it simple, casual players will be more incentivized to no longer be casual players, because the barrier to entry to things like Mythic Plus, raiding, rated PvP, these things will be more manageable to get into. Needing to have to treat this game like a part-time job to be competitive is one of the biggest downfalls of the game. Now I know it's an MMO, but to be competitive, you need to be able to dedicate nearly 20 hours a week to playing the game. It's not indicative of sustaining a growing player base if you deal with it like that. What are we doing here? We're killing things here. I don't know why we're killing things here. I should have paid attention to that. Shadowlands made BFA look good. Shadowlands won't go down in history as a bad expansion. It'll go down in history as an expansion that had a bit of a torrid, bit of turmoil, a bit of you know. It's ironically, it's not so much the expansion that's quote unquote bad. It's been very slow. It's been incredibly slow. But it will get forgiven for its slowness eventually because people's ability to remember time spans are tragically bad. Eventually, people will forget that it's just slow. Korthia is not the worst expansion zone, not by a long shot, but it's also not the best. It's just middle of the run. It's a bit mediocre. There are a couple of systems that people will remember to be not so fond. This domination socket thing, it's not inherently terrible, and it won't be remembered as being like ridiculously terrible. It wasn't. I don't think it's anywhere near as restrictive as like Azerite armor was, for example. The whole shenanigans of not being able to trade Azerite armor and the ridiculous cost of re-rolling traits on Azerite armor, these are things that the player base remembers. But domination sockets just quite simply being boring, it's probably not going to be something that people remember too much. Although Shadowlands isn't looking great, there's not many traits of Shadowlands that will be long-term remembered as being bad. They just need to make sure they don't fuck it up too much going forward. They need a patch that is a winner. They need a throw. They need a timeless isle. They need a win. They need a win. Feels like just Blizzard gave up trying to balance Azerite armor and they just put good traits on all of them. Well, the system was too complicated. There was way too many variables at play. And people told them that, but they did it anyway. There was significant problem. I mean, when you add on top the removal of master loot for raiding, or master loot in general, if master loot was still a thing, Azerite armor would have been more manageable. But people were forced into doing derogatory things to facilitate, you know, the fact that they couldn't trade gear like they wanted to and always had to. So it was a combination of errors really there. An overly complicated system that inherently didn't really work fantastically well without the ability to trade it to other people. And when they put so much weight on it, it collapsed in under itself. They could literally bring out a god patch and you still have most people complaining about stuff. Because whining about WoW equals popularity these days. Yeah, unfortunately negative press tends to go further than positive press. Which is, well, I mean, that's just the rule of media, to be fair, but I need to fix this inventory. I can't be vendoring items every 3 seconds. They need a new mage tower. People really enjoyed the mage tower. I didn't do the mage tower because the Mage Tower happened at a point in time to where I wasn't really playing the game. Which I look back on as to be a bit of a shame, because everybody says it was so good. But yeah, they need something like that. Torghast has the potential to be that in just a different way. Whereas the Mage Tower was good because it was a solo adventure that was somewhat challenging, and it gave you good reason to level up your other characters and play alts and stuff. Torghast has the same philosophy behind it. It's just not been realised yet. They need to do more stuff with Torghast, but they're although the worry for me is people said that about islands. People said that islands had the potential to be really good, really fun, really engaging, but they implemented islands and then never really iterated on it. Islands were too repetitive. Once again, they made the problem with islands that they made it the optimal way to grind AP, or whatever it was called then. So people felt entitled to endlessly grind islands, and that sucked all the fun out of it. I'm hoping you're starting to see that it's very, very risky when you take a feature, a major feature of the expansion, and link player power to it. Because if you don't get the balance of that right, you've just fucked over that entire part of the game. Give me at least some transmog for my class, not a set bonus. No, we don't even have class sets. Keep the rewards cosmetic so it doesn't feel like you have to do it, but then make the cosmetics something that you want. It seems simple, doesn't it, really? Like when you break it down in that regard, it's simple, but unfortunately it doesn't always work like that. Oh my god, I've got 10 days to deal with all of these auctions before I lose them all. Ugh. Why have I got... Oh, I'm on the wrong profile for TSM. That's not good news. It's like something doesn't feel right. Need to activate my master profile. In theory, it's just the Mage Tower that we're describing, to be honest. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Mage Tower had the Legion artifact appearances, which were unique appearances, so in essence, transmog. Now, if you cared about it, it was worth doing, kind of thing. $1.6 million sales overnight. 1 million sales today. You seem to sell more when you're not actively playing the game. How's that a thing? How are you consistently selling more when you're not trying? Maybe you're trying too hard. Oh, Croak the Bloke is up. Is anybody killing Croak the Bloke? We'll get to him in a minute then. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We're not jumping off the cliff to our death. Oh, I hate this goddamn nest. Stupid jumpy games. Feather stuffed helm? Alright, sure. Helm looks okay if you dump out the feathers. What? Oh, I got a bunch of feathers and a helm. That's quite cool. I like that. Right, are people trying to kill Croak now, are they? Oh god, we've pawned the entire map as well. Let's hope people's AoE is on point. There we go. And he's down. Actually, before I go too far, I think I should just close my NA account. We're not really using it, are we? Oh, we sold some monolite ore. Go me. One less account running in the background is probably worth. What are we doing in here? Kill Nocturna, the Raveler dude or something. Okay. Kill a fella. Has there been any indication at all about anima transfers and if they're traded at a loss or not? I assume there'll be at least some sort of loss. I assume there'll be some sort of a loss. I think this is where people are itching to get on the PTR, because that's the kind of thing we'll find out relatively quickly once we get on the PTR. I've not seen any news about any loss, but I'm sure there will be. I would guess, though, it would probably... surely it wouldn't be much more than like 10 or 20%, though, really. But we'll see. If there's no loss, it's best just to farm on mains. Better chance of getting Paragon boxes. I mean, there's pros and cons, right? Because if you're not farming on your ults, you're also not getting a lot of other stuff. Because you've got to remember, anima is kind of passive now. Nobody really goes out of their way to farm anima. They just do the stuff that is usually leading them somewhere else. But just get anima at the same time. Oh, a teleporter's open. Which teleporter's open? Oh, of course it's the one that's furthest away. Great. Okay, we're probably not going to get there. I don't think there'll be... I don't know. I still feel that it will very quickly be more optimal for you to farm the anima on the character that you need it on anyway. Obviously it will just be a bonus if on your main you cap out the anima and want to send it somewhere else because you have no other use for it. It's going to be one of those things, right? It's if your main character is really your main, you know, that you spend like 80-90% of your time on, then sure, you're going to send anima to your ults just because you've probably completed your Covenant Sanctum on that one character, and you're sending it to ults out of convenience more than anything. But if you somewhat spread out your play time across many characters, you probably won't actually have much use for the anima transfer anyway. Unless you're like 2k short of anima to upgrade a building or something, then you might, you know, grab it from your main character just because it's convenient. I'm not really sold on the fact that you'll do one thing over another because it's optimal. And I think Blizzard will enforce that by making there be like a probably 20-30% loss or something like that. So, because in Blizzard's eyes, they would rather you play the alt than play your main so that you don't have to play your alt, if that makes sense. If people want people want an anima transfer, they'll give them an anima transfer. But we know Blizzard well enough to know that it will come with a catch, because it always does. We already know one of the catches, being the fact that you have to have maxed out your Covenant on the first character anyway. It would not surprise me if there's another catch to it. Every time Blizzard do something that they didn't particularly want to do in the first place, it comes with a catch. Always does. Blizzard are incapable of just doing a nice thing on their own doing. If their hand is somewhat forced by community feedback, there's always a catch. Ooh, the key. I might as well pick the key. I've stopped bothering to get the spectral chest because there's never anything in it, but if I happen to stumble across the key, then I suppose. The catch is being that you had to play the game a bit, but let's not start that again today. Hey, I like these discussions, even if people get a bit heated. If there's a strong, clash of opinions, generally it's good though. Like there's no problems with it as long as you keep it, keep it civil. And people don't get nasty, and people are willing to, concede the fact that people have difference of opinions. It's all good. We can have these conversations. Like I tried to bring it round to yesterday, that if there are enough people that are passionate enough about any given topic in this game, it can only be a good thing, right? Because, it's when people stop being passionate about it that they go into, well, I just don't care. And if you just don't care, you'll end up playing Final Fantasy very quickly. I don't know why I'm killing these dudes, because I haven't found the rest of the keys. I'm actually just looking for herbs. Oh, well, there's the other. Oh god, now I've found 2 of the keys. I've accidentally found 2 of the keys. I need to go find the 3rd one now. Where's my pet? Can we... Oh, there's a purple dude here. Maybe we swat him then. Where are these herbs that I need to be finding? Oh, there's one. What can a goblin do in Final Fantasy? No idea. The only thing I have been told about Final Fantasy, not that I know much about the game at all, is that it's got quite a cool crafting system, but from a goblin perspective it's pretty terrible, because there's you have to be manually doing everything. Let me put it this way, there's no TSM in Final Fantasy, which makes the process a lot more manual intensive and a little bit more laborious to do stuff. I don't have time for another MMO in my life though. So World of Warcraft in itself takes up plenty enough of my daily allowance of hours. I would have, for me to play another MMO, Final Fantasy or the Amazon one, my brain's gone dead, I can't remember what it's called. If I was to play another MMO, I'd have to completely switch off World of Warcraft while I do it. I do not have room in my life for 2 MMOs. I barely have time for WoW some days. Well, this is it. I mean, I can fill my day with 8 hours, 12 hours of WoW stuff and still feel as if I don't really actually get anywhere. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or just the fact that I try to spread myself a little bit too thin. I do know that at the moment I'm trying to do way too many things. And in turn of trying to do way too many things, I'm doing the worst thing, which is not actually doing any of them. I'm in serious risk of not getting anywhere with this NA series. I planned on that to be a YouTube Let's Play of starting on the NA, and I made one video on it like 10 days ago. Yeah. I'm in serious danger of screwing that one up. The life of a professional procrastinator. It's kind of getting there. It's getting there, yeah. There's a bunch of things. See, I have a to-do list, right, of a bunch of things I want to do. And the problem is I just need to pick one and do it. But I'm not good at picking one and doing it. I way too easily get distracted by squirrels. Shardstone Mauler. Here, have some tea. Oh, what? What I do need to do is take this hoodie off though, because it's about 7,000 degrees in here. There we go. There we go. Much better. Oh! Let's pew this thing then. They don't have to play the whistle for everybody, holy smoke. Hot streak. Should go tag Relic Breaker as well, really. There's actually stuff I need off that one. There's an Undying Death Roach I can get. There's a pet I can get off that one. I guess that's a pet. That's what I probably should start doing, you know. Forget all these little mini projects I'm doing. Just collect everything. Just collect everything. Just play the goddamn game. I don't know if that's interesting though. That's what I do. Just collect everything. If in doubt, collect everything. Yeah, I ain't got my glasses on. I thought things looked funny. Is that better? It's time consuming. Yeah, that's very true. Throw some tea. Quinn kind of has that, has the monopoly on that. You're not far wrong, yeah. Do we use the tea on them and then pew them? I guess we do. Not only does he have the monopoly on the collecting thing, he's taking it to the extreme. I mean, the organisation that dude has regarding collecting stuff is far superior to what mine ever would be. Can I get a pew thing on this even though you've tagged it? I probably can't, can I? No, of course not. Right, so it's camp spawns. Is that what we're doing? We're camping spawns, great. Tea and kill, as far as I know. Yeah, it is. It's tea them and kill them. Problem is, there's too many horde kicking about, stealing my tags. Also, some of the small ones, you can just click them for credit. Oh, really? Okay, it's finding anything that's, you know, shiny. Maybe we go up the top here. Somebody clicked it. That's the big dude. Horde tagged it. God damn. Stupid quest. Horde, can you please remove yourselves? You are not wanted. That's what that means. It's been bugging me for ages. Never wanted to sound dumb by asking. Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah. Shorthand for as far as I know. Welcome to the internet, Crunchy. Welcome in. Oh! Gotcha. Have some tea. Please tell me I tea'd that one. Tea'd and pewed. 2 to go. Oh my god, it got one shot. Of course it did. Hang on. Throw the tea. Got it. Not sure how I feel that the other faction players mostly feel like an annoyance at this point. Yeah. I don't know. I want to blame it on the introduction of war mode, but it really isn't, because prior to that you just played on a PvE server and there wasn't any war mode. I don't know why it feels different now. It probably doesn't feel weird, it's probably just run its course. Oh, do I also have... Oh, God. Not only do I have to give it tea, I also have to tag it. God damn. It's going to take forever, this. I need to tea one more thing. I'm 4 of 5. Thank God it's only 5. Jeez. Can you imagine if this was like one of those gross 10 or 12, you know, missions? every time I turn around and I see this teapot, I get excited. I can't tea the teapot. That's not how it works. You put the tea in the teapot. Oh, a single world quest should not be this time consuming. I tell you what, that is one thing I'm glad to see the back of, actually. The fact that the world quests could comfortably take 20 minutes to complete in 9.0 really kind of got my goat. We want world quests to be more meaningful. No, 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 no. You want people to spend more time doing world quests, Blizzard. The funny thing is most people that play this game for very long end up being very well PR trained. People who play this game for long enough start to be able to see through any veil of bullshit that gets thrown out there. We can spot a pile of bullshit a mile away nowadays. And unfortunately, I tend to feel that it paints Ian in a bad light because he's the one that has to take the brunt for it, right? He's like, boom, got him. He's obviously the PR spokesperson for Blizzard regarding this game. Now, he obviously is more frequently than not told what he can and can't say by his superiors, which, you know, makes him look like a dick. I think genuinely he's probably a nice guy, like a very nice guy. He seems to be relatively genuine, at least. But you know sometimes he's been given a script that he has to say, and he doesn't particularly want to say it, but it's just what he has to say. But I guess wasn't he? Isn't he actually like? I think Ian Hazzikostas is a professionally trained lawyer, so he's probably got it in him to, you know, say what he needs to say in a fashion that people believe him. That world quest wasn't tested with a large number of players around. You seem to assume that anything's tested nowadays. I did 10 world quests in the same time it took me to do 1 in Shadowlands. Yeah. And then obviously the fact that they introduce callings, which requires you to complete, you know, often 3 world quests per day. Boom! Appearances. More anima. Yet more anima. Has anybody else noticed that they've bumped up the percentage that you get for completing world quests? You now get 8% towards your Shaping Fate, where originally you only got 5. Oh, it is actually telling me to upgrade my Instructor's Divine Bell to the Fine Razor Wing Quill. If that's the case, we should probably max the crap out of this. Melee and ranged attacks have a chance to cause the target to bleed for 901 over 4 seconds. Most things don't last 4 seconds anymore, but I guess that's actually sensible. Since that's an upgradable one, I should probably go max that out to 220, shouldn't I, really? Have I got the beans to do it? Catalogued research, 3737 I have, I think. I think we can get that to 220. Can we just go... We can only go to 4. Oh, why can we not... Do we not have enough? Hang on. We can upgrade to 3. Go. We can upgrade to 4. Go. What's the point of having an upgrade to box if it doesn't work? I still had to upgrade individually anyway. What a dumb game. To get past 220, do we need to be... Is it rank 5 or rank 6? Well, let's turn in these relics real quick. Research report adaptive alloys requires tier 6, and renown 75. Oh damn, okay. So I need, wow, okay, I need to get to tier 6. That's not happening anytime soon. Alright then, sure. Now, I've either got the choice of it's 76... I just go kill the world boss, right? 76%. World boss gives 25%, right? Yes. Lovely stuff. Go kill the world boss. That completes our Shaping Fate for the week. Looking at your gear, I feel the urge to carry you in heroics. And it doesn't make a huge difference to me. I only need better gear than this to kill things fractionally quicker. The reason you need more gear is to do more difficult content, and I have no desire to do more difficult content. Although, to be fair, being able to storm through 12s in Torghast might be of benefit, but this dude's a hunter anyway, so 220 gear in Torghast, I can probably do a layer 12 if I really want to. Some servers it's now profitable to level up ranks via vestiges. Just did one server using vestiges on rank 2s to make profitable rank 4s. Normal difference between a rank 2 and rank 4 is about 10k. The vestige cost 14, so 4k saving. Oh, minus 4k, but still a profitable sale. The yeah, it's been that way for a little while now. It depends, it differs based on the profession. Tailoring gets the short end of the stick, no surprise to anybody really there, but if you anything under 400 gold, you can probably start using vestiges to level up, especially jewel crafting actually, which is the good one because jewel crafting is really profitable to begin with. This was the intended purpose of Quartzite crystals. It's just Blizzard massively got it wrong. Surprise, surprise. They either got it wrong, which they'll never obviously admit. The other alternative is they didn't get it wrong. They just wanted to cash in on expensive legendaries for a while because it incentivized the purchase of tokens so that people could get their legendaries. But now that 50% of the player base has stopped playing, then if you're not subbed to the game, there's probably very little chance that you're going to be buying a token. So they thought it sensible to give everybody more Quartzite crystals and, you know, introduce the intended purpose of the vestiges. My main's 207. Doesn't surprise me.
Beware.
Which way is he going? Does he always go the same way? He's going that way. What's your thoughts on the new promo mount? It's not as bad as it looks. For the fact that you don't, it's not, if you sub for 6 months, you get all of the Hearthstone goodies, but you only need to actually play Hearthstone for a little bit to get the rat mount. You don't necessarily need to sign up for the 6-month sub, but, you know, there's also the indication, whoa. There's also the indication that, you know, if you do play Hearthstone a little bit, oh, we got the Shard of Rev. If you do play Hearthstone a little bit, then all of a sudden you might want to start, you know, you might want some of those packs. And oh, then all of a sudden, well, maybe I'll sub to WoW for 6 months and get like a bunch of, you know, bunch of packs as well. It's very calculated. I mean, it's good business. Cross promotion between the games is only good, right? Now, I don't particularly like buying my sub in 6-month chunks. For starters, because I run multiple accounts, and that gets very expensive very quickly. But outside of that, for the simple reason that I don't necessarily know that I'll be as actively playing the game in 6 months' time. So I'd rather just pay a little bit of a premium and pay for it month by month. That's fine by me. But, you know, Blizzard are a business. They can do business things if they want. The mount's cool, though. to summarise, the mount's kind of cool, though. I'm not sure if it's better or worse than Squeakers, but it's Squeakers for less than €25, so... Whoa! Let's give my pet some love. He's getting slapped about just a bit here. Oh, okay. Okay. Boomkin is doing Boomkin things. That's fine. Boomkin can do Boomkin things all he likes. As long as he's doing it on the mobs that I'm trying to kill. I'm going to follow the Boomkin. I don't know where you lot are going. I'm following the Boomkin that's doing 12k DPS. And pulling everything in sight. Yeah, I'm following the Boomkin. Maybe some new players from Hearthstone come to Shadowlands. I mean, that's the nature of cross promotion, right? Like, that's kind of the reason they do it. It's probably true to say Hearthstone's player base is... Well, the thing is, its player base is different. I don't keep track of these things too much, but I would imagine the lion's share of Hearthstone's audience plays on mobile. Because, let's be honest, it's a mobile game. Unless, of course, you enjoy watching Kripparrian. and then you might play on the PC. But for the most part, I would imagine that Hearthstone's major player base is on mobile. Which is a totally different scene, right, to Shadowlands. So, which is why it's kind of a bit of an odd thing that they've done the crossover. But they've done crossovers with Diablo in the past. But there's not really a lot going on with Diablo right now, so that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. A new expansion for Hearthstone, though, maybe good time to do a bit of cross-promotion. Why not? Don't make it too egregious. Don't, you know, don't piss too many people off by doing it. If nobody gets hurt, it's all good, right? I did pick up the replenish the reservoir. I was just checking. I had a horrible feeling that I'd done all of this and not picked up my replenish the reservoir quest, but I have. It's fine. Time to make Hearthstone cards drop in WoW. I would love that. I've said for a while that WoW needs a new collecting. Like, pets and mounts are done now. People are bored of pets and mounts. Pets and mounts, obviously we had transmog integrated a few years ago and people have done that a little bit. Toys, pets and mounts though, there's too many of them. There's too many of them for them to matter. We need something that's less. There's way too many of them for too many of them to matter. So I would love to see the trading card game be re-released in digital form. You collect the cards in game, integrate it with Hearthstone if you needs be. I'd love that. Now, Blizzard already have the, you know, Hearthstone is a cash cow in terms of the fact that, you know, you buy digital packs of cards. Make it so that you can buy those cards. I mean, you can technically already buy them with gold, because you just turn your gold into Blizzard balance and then buy the packs with Blizzard balance. But there's no, apart from that, there's no direct integration. I would love for them to be an actual thing in the game. Like, merge the two games together. Still have everything that you can do in Hearthstone regarding crafting the cards, disenchanting them, dusting them, whatever. But make it so that, you know, Mythic Boss drops a Hearthstone Legendary. It's the ecosystem, that kind of ecosystem. Look at Apple, for example. I know it's a different, I know we talk like Apple is a very different company, but Apple's ecosystem works in the same way. If you have an iPhone, you want the Apple Watch. If you have the Apple Watch, you probably want an iMac. If you have an iMac, you probably want the latest MacBook Air. Maybe then you buy an Apple TV because it all links together. That kind of ecosystem does businesses outrageously well. And Blizzard are almost there. They're almost there because they have Battle.net. And the fact that if you play World of Warcraft, that you can... the tokens in World of Warcraft allow very rich people in World of Warcraft to play the other... to be involved in the rest of the Blizzard ecosystem without them having to take their credit card out their pocket, but basically make it into one universe, similar to how Marvel Cinematic Universe is. It's not totally straightforward to do with WoW. Hearthstone, though, it is, because Hearthstone is directly taken from WoW. The integration is, in theory, already there. It's just that the dots haven't been connected together. So, they could do it. I'd be happy to see it. I think it'd be cool. We need to go get souls from the moor. Let's go get souls from the moor. Then we can fly back. And then that's this dude, for the most part, done. Their Chinese company needs to make a mobile pet battles that combine somehow with WoW. I think that's coming, you know. We already know that there's 2 WoW-based mobile games in development, or mobile applications at the very least. There's not many things that those could be. We already have Raid Shadow Legends in World of Warcraft, and it's called the mission table. It would not surprise me if they iterate on that and turn it into a fully fledged. Because I keep forgetting the name of it. What's the mission table is what type of game? There's a word for it that's used heavily in mobile games. But them implementing the mission table in WoW is at a very fundamental level. Well, apart from just being called Facebook gaming. Like you have MMOs, like you have RPGs, an auto battler, that's the one. The auto battler genre of games is very, very popular on mobile. Incredibly popular on mobile. Now, I think that this iteration of the mission table was Blizzard's, or namely Activision's, first testing ground for an auto battler that can be based on World of Warcraft. I would nearly put money on one of the mobile games being based on that. Whether it integrates seamlessly to the game or not, we don't know. But that would not surprise me at all. If you go into the App Store on your mobile device of choice, you'll probably find some of the highest grossing games in the mobile industry are these auto battler styler things. I mean, Marvel have a couple of them. Marvel have more than a couple of them. But not that I've played it, but at least my understanding of Raid Shadow Legends is it's very much the same. There's 10, 15, 20 outrageously profitable mobile games that use this auto battler style. You level up a team of companions, you equip those companions with armor, you battle consistently, you have an energy bar. They can battle so many times before you need to let their energy bar replenish. I can't believe that Blizzard would have put it into Shadowlands without the intention of building upon it further for the purpose of a mobile game. It just seems too obvious of a play for them to not do it. They lost the hype train of auto battlers 2 to 3 years ago. Not in the mobile industry. Not even close. And if you think that World of Warcraft is a profitable franchise, you have not seen anything when you look at the profitability of some of these mobile games. Why do you think these mobile companies are willing to pay people quite literally tens of thousands of dollars for somebody to play it for an hour on stream? The sponsorship deals people get for these mobile games are ridiculous, because they can very easily put a figure against every new player acquisition. They know that every new player that installs that game is likely to spend X amount. Not a case of that, and that's on a free-to-play game. So, if they give a streamer with 1,000 concurrent viewers $10,000 to play a game for an hour, and then 100 of those viewers, even 50 of those viewers, sign up, download and install that game on their mobile phone, they know that they're probably going to make that $10,000 back tenfold. It's ridiculous. And it's why they do it. Because the science behind these mobile games, if you think microtransactions are bad in Blizzard games, you have seen nothing compared to what these mobile games do. I mean, loot boxes in video games is, sure, it's gross and it makes these companies a lot of money, but it's still a fraction to the amount of money that these mobile game companies make. There are players of mobile games out there that quite literally spend thousands of dollars every single month playing a mobile game. Quite literally thousands of dollars. And they're not few and far between either. It's not like just the occasional super whale that happens to be playing a game. No, these are regular players. Clash of Clans is the only mobile game I play. It's refreshing to see a game with zero RNG. I've played Clash of Clans in the past. Supercell are, in my opinion, one of the better mobile game developers out there. I don't play Clash of Clans anymore, but I play, what was it called? Battle Royale? No, shit, what's it called? I don't even know. Where's my phone? The other one by Supercell. That's not Clash of Clans. Brawl Stars, that's the one I play. Guild Wars 2 is considered a popular and successful MMO, and it makes a fraction of the revenue for that studio. Guild Wars 2 made... Hang on. Am I right in assuming that that is Guild Wars 2? Guild Wars 2 made 15 billion in 2020, quarter 2, versus say a 10-year-old mobile. Hang on, what's this? Hang on. Sales breakdown by game. Mobile game sales posted 357 billion, a drop of 35%. Lineage 2, Aeon, BNS, and Guild Wars 2. I don't know what Lineage or Lineage 2 is, but I guess they're mobile games, right? What is... So, what was it? What was it? Lineage 2? What the hell is this? iOS, Android, Windows. Oh, okay, it's on everything. Some Korean shit. There's 2, PC and mobile, Korean MMO. I mean, yeah. Look at the numbers. They're what in essence mobile games. It's bonkers. Oh, it's Korean monies. It's not dollars. But either way, either way, you can see the comparison, right? Guild Wars 2 is doing only a fraction of what these mobile games are doing, regardless of whether it's Korean rupees or not. Yeah, it's actually, when you look at the scale of it, it's genuinely almost impossible to fathom just how much money these mobile game companies make. It's why all of the big, like, you will not see a Call of Duty game that doesn't come out with a mobile app to go with it. Because their user acquisition, believe it or not, primarily will then come from mobile. People download the Call of Duty app on their phone because it's new, and they get 10 million downloads on a little application on a phone in a couple of weeks because they can pay for it to sit at the top of the App Store, and because of the Call of Duty brand name, people download it. And then of those 10 million downloads they make in a couple of weeks, if 1% of those people actually go on to play the proper game and then, you know, buy something in the game, their user acquisition cost is tiddly. It's all marketing. I love all this sort of stuff. I could talk about this stuff for weeks. Oh, 20 souls. Cool. Get out of here. Go. Is Aeon still a thing? No idea. I'm going to be honest, the only MMO I've actually... It depends if you consider RuneScape an MMO, but the only MMO I've ever played is WoW. I know there's been many of them, but I've never really diversified, unfortunately. To the point where I just genuinely don't even know what half of them are. Renown 66. There's the rest of our souls. Let's hand in our anima actually, because we should have a big stack of that kicking about. Deposit our anima. Jesus, like over 3,000 anima. Over 3,000 anima with like basically no effort. How much do we need for this one? 12,500 anima! Oh. God damn. I need to be careful shouting actually. My wife is on a call. I can hear her in the next room. Probably shouldn't shout 12,000 anima quite so loud. Well, at least we've got the 40 souls that we need. Blizzard have also came out and said that the time gating needed for the souls might go away. They might just make the soul acquisition quest repeatable, so that, you know, once you've handed in your 20, you can just do it again and go back and get another 20. It's still a bit of a grind. They could just get rid of it, you know, but no, maybe they'll just make the quest repeatable. So we hopefully won't have much of an issue with the redeemed souls come patch 9.1.5. We'll have to see. But yeah, I need another lot of anima, because I want to get this thing maxed out now. We could, in theory, if we were to do a bit of an anima sweep, not that I'm so inclined to do it. Posture check, you're right, I'm crouched over. I think my chair's broken. My chair's like keeps going lower. What does the abomination factory even do? Not a lot is the honest answer. Each one of the abominations that you build does something different. Now, it's not until I've got to Exalted and got this dude that I've even found one that's worthwhile having. This dude is, what's his name? Guillotine. He gives me a special button that on a 30-second cooldown increases haste and attack power by 300% and reduces the damage taken by 300% on a 30-second cooldown. He just goes a bit mental and just pew-pews things. It's, you know, just... each of them have things, like some of them are vendors that give you stuff, and it's not actually anywhere near as interesting as I think it could or should have been, but... Let me go turn... I've got a couple of things I need to turn in over here, I think. Some conduit upgrades. Strength of the pack, sure. Rejuvenating wind. Unity, which is a tier 5, does a lot of damage in world quests, but no abomination can enter the Maw or Korthia. Oh, so there we go. They're basically just useless then. Anybody tried the time walking? What about the XP there? I've not done time walking. They did fix it last time though. It's Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, the experience is probably reasonable for leveling, but I don't know. I really should look at fixing my conduits to be in the right places and stuff now, but I just can't be bothered. It's too much like hard work. I mean, A, I could try and work it out, or B, I could look up a guide. Both of those options feel boring. I need to play Path of Exile for a week, you know. I need a break from WoW, I think. So that I don't get bogged down in just, you know, so it doesn't become a grind. What I was going to check actually is if we were to do an anima sweep, what's the actual total anima? See, there's 3k, oh no, it's not actually 3k. There's just about 2,000 anima sat on the map. Now, I should in theory do Amateur Night and do the World Boss, because that's 1,000, that's 50% of the anima that's sat on the map by doing 2 quests. Alright, let's do that then. The efficiency of that is worthwhile me doing it, I think. I can live with that. And when we fly over to, where is it, Revendreth? Yeah, when we fly to Revendreth, we can smash out a quick cancel scan. Oh, it's all coming together beautifully. Beautifully. If you let your game time run out, can you reactivate it with a WoW token? Yes, you can. If you've got a WoW token in your bags, the game will ask you, do you want to use that game token? Chill here for a second. Let these dudes spawn. Who's next then? It just gets melted. There's one of 2. Come on, where's the next dude? Who's it going to be? Is it this one? Asmogul. Oh no, you pewed my pet. That's not very nice. Right, that was a nice quick cheeky 500 anima. Let's go grab the other cheeky 500 anima that's kicking about on the map, and then we should be good. Where are we going? We're going all the way over here, aren't we? Nurgash Muckformed. Dominance Keep. Let's get a quick count. Oh my god, we've been idling so long, our accounts have actually just disconnected. Let's get a cancel scan on them both. Even with gold, yeah. If your game time runs out, if you've got enough gold split across your characters, it will ask you if you want to, you know, use the token or use the gold you have to buy a token, I guess. The only thing you want to be careful about if you plan on taking a break from the game is that you don't leave too much stuff in mailboxes anywhere. Because stuff in the mailbox only lasts 30 days before you lose it. Which is actually a big problem for me now. With my inventory being pretty large and the amount of stuff I'm selling on so many different realms being pretty sizable, if I was to take a break from the game for any extended period of time, not that I plan to, but I'd have a bit of a problem with where to store everything. Ended up losing a lot when I took a break before 9-1. Yeah, it's very easy to do it, but for two reasons, right? Half the time you don't plan to take a break, it just happens. It's not like you say, right, this is the last day I'm going to play WoW, let's do some, like, you know, TLC, some spring cleaning, some maintenance before I stop playing the game. Usually, like, you see a game and you go, I'm going to play that game. You buy the game, you install the game, you play the game, and then you completely forget about that World of Warcraft that you haven't logged onto in 30 days. And all of a sudden you've lost millions of gold of inventory in the mailbox. I can safely say I've done it before. Above max, posting at max. People are getting resets on rank 6s. Damn. And Bone Shatter Treads, look. Somebody's resetting the prices on rank 6s. Sure. I mean, good luck on that one, because my operations are pretty tight. 30 days is a kind of a short time as well. Well, the easy solution to that is just don't leave stuff in the mailbox, but when people tend to, it becomes very easy for people to just, you know, casually post 300-400 things on the auction house, and when you do that, when it all expires and comes into the mailbox, you kind of forget that 300-400 slots of storage space is quite hard to come by. I mean, that's like your entire inventory and your entire bank. Then you have to start looking at either sending it to alts or having guild banks, which then you've got the annoyance of it takes ages to put something in a guild bank, and it also takes ages to take something out of a guild bank. There's lots of problems with it. The mailbox is an inventory. Yeah. Expired mails is a non-issue now, considering you can now reclaim the mail automatically from the Blizzard site without sending a ticket or anything. Can you do it without GM intervention now, completely? Do you not also have to be at least level 10 for that to be a thing? Non-issue for 2,000 pets. Just clickety click. It's troublesome if you've got 1,000 items expired. It will take you 10 to 20 minutes to get them all. Oh, fair enough. I didn't realise that was a thing. Either way, I still wouldn't suggest it. Right, we've done 500,000 in sales here without actually really trying. We randomly sold a pair of Bone Shatter Greaves at for 54,000 gold. Let's actually do a cancel scan here, though. We just relisted stuff. Probably meant that we'd done a cancel scan in the past and I'd forgot to post them again, which is why we didn't sell anything. But let's get these random materials listed on the auction house as well. Bone Shatter Helm, both rank 5 and rank 6 are being posted at normal price. Why do I get the feeling that that's... Yeah, okay, that's because the current listings are just Dumbo level cheap. Because there's still a history of goblins doing stupid goblin things on my realm. Okay, that's fine. Right, there's that realm. Happy again for a little while. 65 auctions to cancel over here. See, I'm even finding it difficult now to keep up with just some basic auction house PvP. I should be cancel scanning like my life depends on it, considering today is the one day of the week where you can actually make a sizable amount of gold. But it's somewhat true to say that now I'm just in the rinse and repeat of just recraft, resell, recraft, resell. And my gold total is just steadily going upwards and I don't really have much use for it right now. I lose interest very quickly. It's probably why I make all of these new projects all of a sudden. What do we do here? Oh, we were selling herbs. Cool, sure. Because when I bother to do my cancel scans, I mean, stuff sells pretty quickly. So, I should be doing it. I might try and do a... Is there an easy way? Is there any wizard goblin wizard in chat that can think of an easy way to validate if my material groups are complete? I'm also trying to think about how I can do this for professions as well, because I want to create some TSM groups for professions that are all inclusive. I don't want to, you know, because you can make groups based on the patterns that you already know, but you can't make groups based on things that you don't know. So short of going through the Unlearned tab piece by piece, for like jewel crafting, for example, I could make the groups based on what I know, and then piece by piece manually add every single craft into them that I don't know. But look how many that is just for jewel crafting, right? when I created all my groups, I used the search function in TSM to add all the other items into a to-sort group. Oh, and you just slowly but surely, monotonously went through it all. Oh, I see. Because, I mean, I guess you could use base group for that. I guess you could just go... because you could just go AAA, AAB, AAC. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. Because you've got to put... it's not like you can just go A and it gives you everything with the letter A in it. And you just add it all to a group. You can see I have imported the default stuff. I was trying to work this out. So I imported the default stuff. But it's the addition of everything that I don't know that is more time consuming. Must have found a dump of all the item IDs somewhere then. Yeah, if you could specify a range of item IDs, you could just do item 00001 and just go from there. Please show me everything with item ID starting from 1 to 10 million. Add to group, please. Yeah, maybe. Because I thought about, well, can I use Wowhead? And I was like, maybe I can use Wow. I don't know. You can get them from the Lua files, but it's a bit messy. Then just import all of that, all that's not already in a group. Yeah, I suppose for base group to work, it must all be in a Lua file somewhere, right? Paste it into Notepad. Filter stuff in Notepad. There's probably a way. There's probably a way, but you're right, it gets seriously messy. Which is why I've not done it, but it's one of those things that one day, if you just do it, it's then just done, you know? It'll have all the item IDs and a region price if it's ever been seen. Yeah. Which for crafting stuff, I mean, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult for transmog. But for crafted stuff, I'm looking to do it just for the professions. I've, for the most part, feel that it's done for materials. Not on this profile, but I'm pretty certain that my material groups are 99% complete. I still need to finish enchanting because everything's in the parent group. I've not broken enchanting down by profession yet. But my materials, food, I need to validate. I'm probably missing food, and I should probably break down fish as a separate category. But yeah, use the group maker and filter in Wowhead by the created by a profession. That's assuming that, you know, every item is correctly tagged in Wowhead, and I don't know how much I trust Wowhead. I have a horrible feeling that the only way to do it correctly is to do it manually, because then I know it's right. If I use any other external tools, I'm relying on those other external tools to be correct as well. I got groups from another person who also made old content groups, and as I look into the unlearn, got like 99% sorted to some sort of group. There's a couple of profiles that I have access to that I feel are probably 99% complete as well. But even if I think they're they're 99% complete, I'm not going to be happy until I've found that 1% of stuff that's not in them. Which means I'm probably going to need to do if I don't do it manually myself, I would want to do a validation pass on it to check that everything's there. And then the time it takes me to do a validation pass, I might have just manually done it myself. We'll see. Because one of the most frequent things I get asked is, do I have any past expansion groups? People like my Shadowlands groups, and I think they appreciate the Shadowlands groups. But there's a lot of gold to be made in the past expansion crafts. But we'll see. That's a it's something I've been thinking about how to do and have not worked out a solution for yet. Maybe I'll do that in the evening on stream or something. A no-cam stream where we're just making TSM groups. And we'll do a TSM Q&A at the same time or something. Core data does have flags for crafted, so a data dump probably exists somewhere. Found one for classic. I might have a dig around the files, because you're probably right. Full? Oh no. Well, maybe that one's going to be the next one then. Do I hedge my bets on that being the next one? Groups are sorted nicely, and if you want even nicer operations, check his Patreon. Free weekly sellout. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. And there it is. It's almost like Sir Coffeebot was listening. Become a goblin and support on Patreon. There we go. Oh, damn, we're going. We're going.
Beware.
Oh, move to boss. Ah. Should have read the big old warning on the screen. I don't think it really matters, but you know.
Beware.
Ask Gumdrops, he can probably provide something like that, as they're closely done on the new API. Yeah, he wants me to test the new API. But I don't really know what the API does, or if I'm the right person to be testing it. Because he asked if I wanted to integrate it to the cheat sheet. And in a way I kind of do, but I'd only want to integrate... I mean, I've talked about this a lot, but I'd only want to integrate the API to my cheat sheet if I was to do like a version 2.0 of the cheat sheet. I would want to keep them separate. I'd want a quote-unquote dumb one, because I'm of the opinion that a dumb spreadsheet is much easier for beginners to use, and is less prone to confusion. And then I might want a variant of it which is smart, and the smart thing being that it adds the API, the new TSM API in. Which, for reference, before people get too excited, is not publicly available yet. I don't think it's any secret that they're working on a new one, so apologies if it is. But it's true, I've seen some groups from people that make no sense. Yeah, TSM's one of those things that you kind of, you know, you gain a better understanding of how you should be doing things over time. When you first install TSM, like the group structure, you don't realize what the groups are actually for. The groups are meant to categorize things that you are going to apply similar operations to, but until you understand what is capable of the operations, you don't really know how you should be making your groups. Which is why anytime you look up some TSM guides, groups are the first thing that people tell you how to make. But it's kind of difficult because, you know, they both link together. You need to know all of it before you fully understand any of it. Which is why I wasn't really too sure how to do my little TSM series. I hope it came across okay. A fair amount of people seem to have watched it at this point, which is nice, but... I'm also kind of cautious. From a content creation point of view, I don't really want to become the TSM guy. No offense to Samadan, who is often considered like the TSM guy. I like TSM, I use TSM. Now that it actually works for Shadowlands stuff, I'm happy to, you know, say good things about TSM. But I don't really want to be, you know, the TSM guy. Because otherwise I just end up doing nothing but fixing other people's TSM profiles. Right, I think I'm about done for the day, boys and girls. I don't know what I'm going to do this evening. The wife's got some silly Pilates class or something later today, so I've got a bit of free time. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might... As much as I hate to say it, I'm really tempted to play Path of Exile again. We might give Path of Exile a blast this evening. If I install Path of Exile, I'll throw up the stream and you can all laugh at my inability to remember how to play Path of Exile. Otherwise, we will be back on either Thursday evening or Friday. Tomorrow is not a regular day for me. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but tomorrow I have an appointment that I cannot miss, nor can I reschedule. So tomorrow's regular stream will not happen. We may stream at some other point in the day, dependent on how my appointment goes. Otherwise, worst case scenario, we'll be back on Friday. I'm hoping we'll have a PTR by then and we can do some exploration on the PTR. Now, obviously, it's not a content patch, so, you know, PTR testing is going to be pretty quick and simple. There's not new zones to be exploring. There's probably not too much to actually do on the PTR other than just see how these new changes are implemented. But, you know, it's good to keep your eyes on what's happening in the future. But that's me done for the day, boys and girls. Happy reset day. Good luck with your Auction House PvP. I wish you all make lots of gold in the game. Today is the day to be doing it, for sure. If you can stomach it, do as much Auction House PvP as you can today, because reset day, for us over here in the EU at least, is the day of the week to be making a sizable amount of gold, especially if you're, you know, either into consumables or legendaries or catch-up gear, that sort of stuff. Today is the day, so get at it, have fun, but, you know, if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. But anyway, boys and girls, have a good one. I will see you next time. Peace.